Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you had a good weekend, and gonna try to have a good podcast for you all today. Obviously, got a few things to talk about. Should be pretty interesting, and yeah. So Jim Pachi will be here soon. So let me see real quick. So How's everyone been doing? Hope the week treated you well, and the week coming up treats you better. And yeah. So let me see comments. What we got? Yo, what's up, Spirit of Paradox? How's everything going? What's up, Hakami? I'm sorry, Hakami. My mistake. So, well, there is something I did want to talk about. It's not like a main topic. It's probably gonna be brief because I'm probably the only one who actually, probably the only one who really actually cares, and the only one that actually played it, which is the demo for Visions of Mana. So, I'll get into that soon. What's up, Neozoic? Nice, nice. So what you all been playing? You been playing anything? Any games? Been watching anything lately? Anything new? Anything old? I usually tend to watch like older shows or older movies because nothing really ever anything like new now interests me or really like I can really like trust like off the bat. So because a lot of times the new shit usually disappoints you whenever you're like excited something's coming back or something's a sequel of something or whatever. I mean, one thing that comes to mind is the Halloween movies, Michael Myers and all that. What was it? 2018, I think that was the one. It was all right, I guess. And then what was that? Halloween Kills was a little better. I didn't think it was bad. I think it was the best one out of like all the other movies, Halloween movies. And then there was Halloween Ends, which was that was a disappointment. Thankfully, it was free on Peacock, so when I came out, but I do know streaming services. That's why physical media is king. Which so because I'm on the one and I don't have all the seasons on DVD, so I should have to get onto that. I'm only missing the last two, which I think is like 6 and 7. And that's the last two of them. Cape Crusader, is that the one where they is that the one when they race swapped Gordon and gender swapped well actually they race swapped Gordon and God, what the fuck is her name? The daughter. I'm drawing a blank with her name. Um Barbara, there you go, Barbara. And they gender swap, typical women empowerment bullshit. Let me see what else say. Play some Blunt Omen, nice, nice, and Soul Reaver, yeah. Glad I get remastered. That was good news. Actually, you're the first person I found that out from, Spirit. Actually, uh, David Francisco, give a try to Blade of Darkness. Is a hack and slash from the 2000s that got a remaster a couple of years ago. Oh, nice. Is that on consoles by any chance? The remaster? If not, I'll probably just try to get the original if that's also on like the older consoles. Layuzi, oh, however you pronounce that name. Uh, I am gay. Yes. All right, Jim Pachi's here.
Yo, what's up, man? How's it going?
Not
You're gay,
sure
man? I didn't know you were gay.
LGBT stuff anything to do with what I was talking about.
I didn't know you were gay,
Oh,
man.
hey. Oh, really?
I didn't know you were. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man.
Like the Home Improvement? Huh?
Yeah, right. So no, man. Like I was listening a bit because you couldn't see I was in the waiting room or whatever. But yeah, I kind of a Great Crusader is a fucking abomination. I can't believe anybody could defend. Like
Oh,
I
so
don't. I don't.
I was right about that one, right? That's the
Yeah,
one I'm thinking of.
it's Batman. So I seen a little bit of it. It seems like Batman is barely in the show, even at least so far. So you
Cape
know,
Crusader, but he's not in the show at all. Like, I mean, barely in the show at all. Make it make
yeah,
sense.
yeah, exactly. And then like what they did with Penguin, it's like you can argue. Like here's the thing: what does it add to the character? What does Black Gordon or female Penguin really add to the characters? It's very shallow and cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't I'm just tired of it. Like the fact that people could see that, they could see what they did and not like have any red flags. It never ceases to amaze me. You see the pattern, but
Mm-hmm.
you keep falling for it. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, come on, that shit was dead on arrival.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yo, Neozoic, what's
And
up, man?
then they're gonna blame the fans or the toxic men or
Dude,
whatever. The
it's the
cancel.
same
What
old
was it?
story.
The culture war or whatever they want to
Yeah,
call it. They're
whatever
gonna blame
stupid
that.
shit, whatever stupid. I don't even like the term culture war because even the term culture war sounds fucking dumb. It's really
Yeah.
more so like,
I
hey,
believe that
you're
was
doing.
originally even like mentioned by leftists. So then like
Yeah,
everyone just caught
I'm
on
sure.
with it. So
Yeah, I'm sure they caught up. They came up with it. I don't know if they did, but
yeah,
I did hear it a lot from the left, and then the right started
yeah,
hearing
like yeah.
parroting it. But the
David
point is,
Francisco. Thanks for letting me know. I'll definitely check it out and see if they have it on PS5 or if it was on there as well. So
yeah,
appreciate it.
but
Blade
like
of Darkness. So
people see the pattern. They see the
Layus,
patterns, and they keep doing the
Layus.
same
How
shit.
many episodes did y'all watch? I didn't watch any episodes. I seen like little clips of it. So I know Jinpachi, that's what you were saying too. You just saw like little bits of it here and
I
there.
just saw bits of it. I saw some of it, but I saw a lot of bits and pieces of it. And nothing that I saw seemed like particularly interesting. And again,
Yeah,
like
that's why I looked at it. You look at it, you see little bits of it here and there to kind of get a good idea, at least a good feel of what it is. And it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna
I'll
pursue
put
watching a full episode.
I'll put it this way: from what I've seen, there's barely any Batman. I've seen more Gordon, more Harley Quinn, more. All
Hmm.
the clips I've seen are like of everyone but fucking Batman, for the most part. And like I kind of watched a lot of them because it's like one of those things where like I just want to like confirm what I'm thinking, and I watch as many clips as possible. I barely saw Batman,
Didn't they
but
make the
anyway.
women fat?
Oh
Or
yeah,
one
and
of
they
them?
yeah they made Renee Montoya fat. They
That's what it
made
was. Yeah.
they made Harley Quinn. They kind of beefed her up a bit. Like I don't know, man.
Hmm.
Like the point. This is what I was saying before. You see the pattern, and then people will always make fucking excuses. And I'd rather people just be honest and say I don't care because it fits my agenda, so I don't give a shit. Instead of trying to lie and gaslight other people and say like, oh, it's not this, it's not that, it's not agenda, it's not propaganda. When really it is that, but you're just okay with it because it aligns with your political beliefs. At least if you're saying that, you're being honest and being blatant about what you feel, instead of trying to gaslight other people into thinking like, hey, no, it's not bad. They're not doing this or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's not true, Layuz, but okay, yeah, I know you're here. I know it's a Layuz. I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna try to troll and gaslight in the comments, but yeah, you could kiss my ass with all that. That show is dog shit. Sorry
Yeah.
about
I
that.
think he's been here before. D- Uh, so I think I know. I think I know what his or her.
Agenda is
I know what their
his yeah, his heavy
Yeah,
agenda
yeah,
is. Yeah,
yeah.
this like I said, like again, I'm not
So
gonna take
yeah,
you seriously because I know why you're in the comments. I know what you're trying to do. Um, I know you don't remember, but Spider-Man 2 is definitely woke as shit. Just to give you a little reminder, and that's neither here nor there, but I just want to remind you of that. But anyway, the point
yeah.
is that I know why you're
With
there. You're gonna try to
David
gaslight.
Francisco. Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
about Game of Thrones and what was it? A House of the Dragon. Yeah, That's why I never bothered with any of those shows.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I kind of like some of Game of Thrones, to be honest, but it got kind of doofy toward the end for me. Like, so, but it was decent, but I think it just kind of like declined over time, at least for me. But yeah, like again, like people in the comments, they're gonna try to gaslight and do whatever, and like again, kiss my ass with all that because it's bullshit. It's very blatant, very
He
obvious,
said he wants to join.
very obvious. Send a link, bro.
All right, I'll send it now. Actually,
But yeah, Neozoic. I don't mind it when the story is good, but it's clear what they're doing with that show. It's to build up and pump up the other characters. So yeah, it's cheap shock factor, but I mean, Game of Thrones wasn't that bad. I actually liked a lot of it. Just it just kind of fell off over
I think
time.
it probably just like it just probably like progressively got pretty shitty over time.
Mhm.
Probably because over the years, like directors or actors or whoever, they would want to instill like modern day shit into these like shows and movies.
I think the
So
important distinction
I
is
actually
the
don't
intention.
remember when the show started, so it probably started like before all the bullshit within media started really ramping up.
I don't recall, to be honest. So I don't want to comment on that because I don't recall. But you know, again, it's the intention behind it, right? Like, look at Kingpin in the 2003 Daredevil movie. It's clear, like with that movie.
Let me see your comment, Neil. Though. Okay. How do you feel about the counter argument of what about other Batman's media that don't show Batman too much, just as Batman Year One, The Dark Knight Rises, etc.?
Oh yeah, well, those. But again, it's the intention behind it, right? Those movies they didn't show. For example, like when your world, like you have to look at the intention behind any writers, what they're doing in any show or any movie or whatever. So when you comes to something like Batman, right? Like in The Dark Knight Returns and The Dark Knight Rises, it was about building up to his return because he's been gone. It was like building anticipation. Or with Batman Year One, where it was supposed to add a bit of mystery, and Batman Begins, etc., where you're building Batman's character and you're doing some world building. But with something like Cape Crusader, you can say like, hey, we're trying to do the world building and build up the characters, but a lot of the focus is on, again, the female characters, basically with the changes they made. It's like it's more agenda driven. Like you can have two people do a similar action, it doesn't mean it has the same intention behind it. So again, that's why I brought that's actually Neozoic. That's actually why I brought up Kingpin, because if you watch Daredevil, Kingpin, Daredevil 2003, not that that's a great movie, but Kingpin was race swapped, yeah, but at the same time you could see that he was like chosen for what he brings to the role. It wasn't like, hey, we need to do diversity and inclusion BS. While with the Cape Crusader, first off, it's a cartoon, right? So they can make the characters look however they want with the animation or whatever. But then it's like, all right, well, kind of funny how all of a sudden it's all right, I'll give you an example. What does making Commissioner Gordon black add to the character? What about it, especially in animated form, needed for him to be race swapped? Or with a female character like with Harley, where you make her like an Asian woman and you make her kind of like dumpy, and Renee Montoya all of a sudden is like more hefty. It's like there is no real purpose behind it other than diversity and inclusion. So you can't, like, to me, it's not necessarily like an equal argument to say, well, in this show, we had Batman, we barely showed Batman early on, where you're building anticipation, versus I not having Batman as much in this show because I want to focus on these other characters that just happen to be diversified. You know what I mean? In such a way, there's a distinction. It's like just they're not the same. They're not the same action.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going?
Yeah.
Before I ask the question, how's your day been?
It's been good. How has yours been?
I can't complain much. Just chilling for real. Just got off of
Been
work.
good.
Nice, good man. That's what you should be doing. Chilling, taking a break.
Nice.
Yeah. So the question I would like to ask Jinpachi is that like, I know you already asked the question, what does making the character black or etc. add to the character? But what does having them white add to the character? Like, why exactly does that matter?
Okay, so all right. All right. So I'm gonna answer your question. I'll be fair and answer your question, and then I'm gonna phrase something after that. Okay. So all right. So first off, if the character was all right. So if a character was originally a certain way, they should kind of maintain that what's the word I'm looking for? Like maintain the character's identity, because people can argue it doesn't matter, but even Gordon's features, right? Like the red hair or brown hair, if their skin is white or whatever, it has an iconography to it. And if the character's been away for 70 years, to suddenly change them, especially in today's climate, it's more shallow. It's like a shallow thing. Were you here for the part where I was talking about Daredevil with Kingpin?
Yeah, but
all right. So with Kingpin, I don't know if you remember the original Daredevil movie. They made Kingpin black. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
During 2003, there was not as heavy as a political climate as there is now. So it's kind of like a thing where back then it was more of like, hey, we want to cast this person because they fit the role. And when you look at Michael Clark Duncan's physical stature and his acting ability, he was great in that role, right? But
yeah. So would you support him being Kingpin now?
See, but here's the thing. If he was Kingpin now, because of the climate, because I don't know if you follow these writers and people and what they say, but it's a difference between hiring somebody because they're the best for the role versus I'm hiring them because we just need to have more diversity and inclusion. So I'll give you another example, right? Like let's say you take a character like Blade.
Hold on. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna let you continue your question. I'm sorry, I have ADHD, so sometimes if I get really excited, I really want to just add my point in.
No, you're good. You're good. You know what? Add your point now, and then I'll say what I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
All right. I forgot his name. I think it's John Stewart, the Black Green Lantern. Is that his name?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So the reason he was included in the original Justice League cartoon was literally because there's like, hey, let's add a black person in here because we don't have no black people. Okay. But way before you said, things became political, like nowadays, as you say, or whatever, was that in itself a problem?
It was not a problem, but let me give you a clear distinction there.
Well, what's the difference between?
But I'm explaining. Hold on. I'm explaining right now.
Hold on.
I'm explaining right now. Hold on. Because you asked me that. I'm explaining right now. John Stewart is not Black Hal Jordan, right? Is he Black Alan Scott?
No.
And in the lore of the Green Lantern universe, what did they already make very clear? That there are several Green Lanterns. There's an army of them. I never had a problem with John Stewart, right? Because of that. Now, again, I'll give you the reverse example. Okay, but hold on, because I want to give you a reverse example. Like, look at Blade. I mean, not Blade. Sorry, Spawn. There was a short period in the comics where they made Blade a white guy, right? They made him white. He was a white police officer. That shit was horrible for the same reasons. So it's not necessarily a thing of like, oh, it's when they diversify them to be black or like Hispanic or whatever. It's also the other way around. You get me? Like, I personally don't like it because, again, it's cheap. In the case of Spawn, it was a disservice because, you have a character that's established. You have Al Simmons, and then having him recast as like this, white police officer. Again, it might not have been agenda driven, but it was equally bad. I would feel the same if it was Blade or Black Panther or whatever other character. It's more so of a fact of like, you want diverse. I have nothing. So let me put it clearly. I have nothing against diverse characters at all. I don't care if a character is any race or sex, but when you're actively changing existing characters, and especially with the current political climate, that's when it becomes more of an issue. That's when it becomes a problem for me, especially, and a lot of people feel this way. It's shallow, it's cheap, it doesn't add anything. It's like the logic of, if race doesn't matter, then why change? If it doesn't matter, why did he need to be changed from white to black? And if it does matter, then why does it matter? You get what I'm saying? That is to me the caveat of it. You can say it doesn't matter, so if it didn't matter, then why change it? right? How many people can relate to Goku? How many people can relate to Naruto? And he doesn't necessarily look like.
I mean,
them,
a lot of people in the black community actually.
Real quick,
like
what's up, Christian
view the
Frady's?
Saiyans as being like an
Roy
allegory
you in
for black
soon because little crowd right now.
There's even like a whole book based on it.
Yeah, but that's kind of a reach, man. Because I like that to me is a reach. I mean, like obviously the Saiyans are like heavily like there's a lot of samurai influence in them too. Again, like I don't necessarily see it. I know a lot of people may feel that way, but ultimately the Saiyans are not black, right? If you look at them on the surface, they are white. Most of them are whitish. I don't think there's ever been a black Saiyan on screen.
I think there are actually black Saiyans
on screen. On screen. I don't think I've ever seen a black Saiyan. I've seen some of them with tans, but like with the hair and shit like that. Like you look at them, they don't necessarily register as black at all. And obviously, there are more depictions of Asians than white people. But what I mean is, they're when you visually look at them, they don't register as black. I don't see how somebody can look at them and say that they're black. I mean, you can argue there's allegories for racism, right? Like if you look at like Frieza is definitely an allegory of like racism.
We're kind of sidetracking here, but what I wanted to ask you is that like they already established, like what you said before, they've established like there's tons of Green Lanterns and stuff like that. Like how DC has established there's a whole entire like omniverse or multiverse, right? So what's wrong with one of those characters in a different universe different from the main continuity being black?
And again, it's because of the political climate.
Oh, so the political climate.
So the political first off, it's the political climate because there's a high to think that to assume that there's no agenda when it's blatantly being told to you.
Okay, here's like what exactly is the agenda being pushed?
The agenda is you take characters, you take movies, you take heroes, I'm explaining it to you. Give me a second so I can finish. You take characters and you take IPs and you insert whatever Marxist mentalities, identity politics. It's a lot of it is social conditioning. It's to condition people. You know what I'm saying?
For what?
For Marxist mentalities, communist mentalities, social politics over merit.
So having black people is trying to confirm people to Marxism.
Did I say that? I didn't say that, right?
What did I
say? Wait, no, hold on. Wait, hold on, because let me tell you what I actually said that you didn't listen to. I'm gonna tell you what I said that you didn't listen to. I said I have no problems with black characters, right? Is Blade not a black character? Is Spawn not a black character?
Blade and Spawn are black characters. Yes.
Okay.
But
Hold on. Is Darui a black character? You know who Darui is from Naruto, right? Is he not a black character?
Is he not a black character?
Is he? He's black, right? Is Raven from Tekken a black character? Is Eddie Goro a black character? All those characters I like. I don't have a problem with diverse characters. It's not about black characters. It's the fact that they're consciously.
That's not what I'm saying.
What you said was that I have you implied that what's wrong with black characters. I never said there was a problem with black characters. I specifically said race swaps, gender swaps, forced ideologies.
I didn't imply anything.
Well, your question implied that
because you had said that like, oh, it's clear that you had said, and I quote, the agenda is obvious. So I asked you, what is the agenda? And then you said, oh, it's socially conditioning for Marxism. And then I was like, so having black characters in your
it's about making. But you said so having black characters in media. But again, I never said that. I never implied that having black.
The question was.
Repeat your question.
I asked you earlier, right? Because you had said that like it's different nowadays because it's obvious they're trying to push an agenda, and the agenda is obvious. And I asked you, so what was the agenda? What's the agenda? Like, what's the main purpose behind doing it? And then you said, oh, to socially condition people for Marxism and communism.
Yeah, and there's more to it than that as well.
And then I had asked you, so having more black characters would contribute to that.
And that's where you got disingenuous because I never said I didn't want more black characters. I said let me finish. Let me and I'm answering your question, but pay attention. You said that having more black characters. I never said, pay attention. I never said I don't want more black characters. I'm perfectly okay with more black characters. Race swaps are not more black characters. They are race swaps. They are gender swaps. They are sexual orientation swaps.
If they introduce someone's race do that exactly
again because those weren't the characters. They can add new characters. Race swapping characters is about pushing social ideologies. Gender. All right. Do you need a character to look like you in order for you to relate to them? You don't find that extremely. Do you find that? Isn't that shallow? Don't you find that shallow?
I myself as a black person or whatever, I can I don't have to necessarily. They don't have to necessarily be the same color as me for me to see myself in them to some extent. But as studies show, having representation, regardless if they're a race swap or not, definitely does help certain communities.
So wouldn't this be better? Wouldn't new original characters that actually had the intention of being black, had the intention of being gay, had the intention of being women, wouldn't that be a much better execution of that than lazily race swapping Jim Gordon, which adds nothing to the character except like, hey, he's black now? So that's my whole point. But in addition to all of that.
But here's the thing: do you really think the majority of people that consume media care about this? Because
a majority of people are sheeple. They go with whatever for bad or worse. They're gonna go with anything that's mainstream.
Everyone was excited when the Little Mermaid was black.
That's bullshit because a lot of people were not excited. No. That was false. There was a lot of backlash.
But what about it being one of the top grossing movies of that year?
All right, but like, listen, top grossing movies of that year doesn't mean it did particularly well because during that time, a lot of movies were not doing well. So yes, it could have been. I don't know if that's true or not. It could have been a top grossing movie of that year, but it doesn't matter because during what year did it come out again? 2020, 2021? Do you remember?
22 maybe.
I don't know about that movie making a lot of money.
And regardless of the fact,
that
movie got a shit ton of backlash. That is a damn lie to say that people were all on board with it. It's simply not true. So
why did so many people go see it?
Listen,
I don't know. Maybe because it was Black Mermaid.
That could be it.
That was the selling point of the movie. It's like Little Mermaid, but black. It's like if you can't see the agenda in that, like it's a little bit naive to say there isn't one.
I already had asked how does race swapping help them push this stuff?
How does race swapping enhance the characters? Explain how it enhances the character.
Because it helps. Because because it helps other communities connect to that character.
You don't think it excludes the people that it does it not exclude?
But why do they need it then? You have just said yourself as a black person that you don't necessarily need representation. So why would other people need it?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You said that. You said that.
I said no. What Revit is doing is misrepresenting and strawmanning me here. That's
not a straw man when you actually said that.
What I said is that I necessarily don't have to be the same character.
Why does it need to be
Let me continue. What I said exactly was that they don't have to be the same color as me for me to relate to them to a certain level. That is what I said. Because I can relate to their struggles. I can relate to the.
And what did you just say? And what did you just say about how does it enhance the character?
Because it helps other people in the other minorities see themselves in that character. You feel like people need it. Was introduced. A lot of black people was excited for it.
That comic was ass, and it did terrible for years. Do you know that? Did you ever look at how those comics sold? I would suggest you look at those numbers and look at how the character actually was received. I'm not sending anything. I'm just saying you should look. You can look it up if you want. But here's the thing.
What about the Spider-Verse movies?
All right, exactly. So let me explain something right now. What more people are inclined to watch a movie than read a comic? Movies are always going to do better than comic books because it's more mainstream. So when it comes to the comic, Miles Morales as an inception as a character was not positively received. The movie again,
I'm an Ultimate Universe reader here. Yeah, not a lot of people were happy about that when it first happened. But sorry for interrupting.
No,
What
no.
about what about Naomi? That
The
superhero
reason why
Naomi
people were
was
pissed about
originally a
Smiles,
comic book character, but then also had a TV show adaptation on CW, which was canceled. Why weren't people watching that? A black
Who's
female
Naomi?
superhero.
I don't even know who Naomi is. Who is it?
There you
Neither
go.
do I.
Why? Because she's not. Because she's
Naomi's
not. Because she
superhero.
wasn't a race
So,
swapped
yeah.
hero. You don't know. She doesn't have the brand recognition behind her.
Exactly.
So again, why not just make a new fucking character?
When they
get it
race swap
over on the merit
characters,
of being
it's
good.
Oh wait, hold on.
disingenuous
So
because they
that
just want to
proved
get
y'all
money
because I didn't know
and
one show.
weaponize the
One at
character.
a time, guys. One at a time. I'm getting a bit lost
No,
here.
but that's an example of what we're saying.
I mean, I typically just don't tend to watch CW shows, so you
Well, that's
didn't really make a point there.
Well, she was also a comic book character as well. What about Black Lightning?
Well, I didn't.
What about-
like I
what-
said,
what-
I don't
what-
watch CW shows.
Okay, but Black Lightning isn't just a CW character, a CW show character.
Yeah, I've seen the cartoon Black Lightning,
Batwoman, sorry.
but I haven't seen the live action show.
So again, it's like, hey, the brand recognition isn't there, so it's not going to sell well. So look at Riri Williams. You know who Riri Williams is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not doing well. People don't care about that character.
Well, she was in Black Panther. Wakanda.
Yeah, okay. People watched that movie because it was
Forever,
Black Panther, which had brand recognition. Again, they
Riri Williams has
they
never
take-
been popular, even
Yeah.
in her comic.
you take a character and you hijack it again to get artificial fucking
Wait, hold on.
artificial.
But Riri Williams is an original Black character. She's not a race
Yeah.
swap.
I know she's not,
So
but
doesn't
it
that
didn't
go
do.
against her entire thing?
It doesn't
No.
because it doesn't at all because it implies that the characters won't be successful unless they have the name fucking Iron Man or Spider-Man. It implies that black people don't really care about black characters unless it has the brand recognition of Spider-Man, X-Men, whatever. So it's shallow. That's the whole point. It's very shallow. It's a shallow,
Are you a black person?
soulless race swap. I'm Dominican.
I am from the UK.
You know what a Dominican is?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Dominican. I'm not white. I don't have a dog in this fight as far as like, oh, I'm not against any particular race. I have cousins and family members that are black as any. I don't care if you didn't ask for it. I'm telling you it. I have African. All right, but I'm talking right now.
You're arguing against something I never said.
I'm telling you something. I'm not saying that I'm arguing what you didn't say.
I'm
I'm
what
saying
you
what I
said.
want to say.
I am black and my hair's nappy. Sorry, people.
My hair is fucking nappy. I'm Dominican. I am not a fucking white person. I'm not whatever.
That's all good. There's black people in the chat as well.
Yeah. So that argument is what I'm trying to say is like, even you asked me what I am. You asked me if I was black or not. So I'm giving you an answer. You can say you didn't ask all that. When you asked my race, I'm giving you a thorough fucking answer.
And I'd asked that question because you were going on about like, well, see, why didn't they do it? Because it implies that black people aren't good enough, or don't have the brand recognition unless Spider-Man or insert character.
Which is true. It's observably true. But then when you have a good original character like Spawn or Blade, it does well. So again, shallow race swaps are shallow. It's shallow. Make a good character of color or whatever race, and it will get over if it's good. But again, that's not what these people want to do. They want to tell their stories. They want to put whatever agendas they have in existing media because they want people to see them. They have no faith in what they're really saying, because if they did, they would make original stories. That's the whole point.
So, okay. What are some examples of race swaps that flopped? Because I can name a lot of movies and stuff like that actually have race swaps that did very successful.
Johnny Storm from Fan Four Stick.
Fan Four Stick was just an overall terrible movie.
Ghostbusters 2016. Taskmaster and Black Widow.
Okay.
Oh God, I hated that film. Oh, they did my boy dirty.
Yeah, Black Widow was pretty bad. All right, now name the original black superheroes that did, or the original movies that did very well without any brand recognition. Okay,
movies with race swaps. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that race swaps usually lead to like flopping? Is that what you're implying? Like at the box office?
I never said that it implies that it's flopping. I said it's lazy and cheap.
Okay.
I never said that they can't do well. I said that they're lazy and cheap and shallow.
All right. Do you think the majority of black people would agree with that statement?
I don't think a majority of. I mean, it depends on it depends on their political views. That's really what it comes down to.
I've heard black people complain about whitewashing, and now it's us really doing the very thing we hate and doing it with blackwashing.
It's not
like Cleopatra being black, for example.
It's not the same thing, though. Can I explain why it's not the same thing? Because it's different. Because it's different. Hold on. It's different when you take a character that's in the majority and make them a minority, or then taking a minority character and then added them to the majority. Because can we all agree here that black people lack representation? Can we agree? Yes or no?
Not current day. No,
not current day. There's more animals. I think there's more talking animals than there are black people.
Today we get overrepresented.
These days, no. These days, no.
Do you have any source for this? Any source?
Look at media.
Yeah.
What the hell you mean any source? Look at modern media.
You can't escape it. It's everywhere.
I live in the UK. Do you know how often it is?
But there's still like millions upon millions of white men getting representation over black people, over people in color in general. Is that not true?
It's not. Look at modern Hollywood.
It wasn't until
Look at modern Hollywood. Look at the games that are coming out. Just within media in general. Media in general is showing all these characters that are being race swapped or purposely having a diverse cast just for the sake of it, because of ESG, DEI, Bridge, and anything else that will go align with their views, such as activists having control over what's being put out within media. That's why you're seeing it, and a lot of it is not genuine. And a lot of people that cheer on are a loud minority.
Oh, like I hear
how do you know they're minorities?
Then why are so many films and shows and games?
I know they're a loud minority because most of them constantly stay online, and when it comes down to supporting the movie, the show, or the game, they know where to be found. That's why a lot of them do poorly. Look at Flintlock, a game that on Steam has 600 and so players on launch day, which is terrible. And within a week, they already lost 70% of their player base. Look at Concord. No one cares about that game. The open beta did terrible. People don't like these games, these movies, these shows usually. And most of the people who are cheering it on are online, and then they don't support it. Just like they didn't support other original black characters, again, like Naomi.
Or Zhao. What was that Zhao game?
Yeah, exactly. Support it if it's a race swap character. Other than that, they're not going to support. That's been proven. What if you want to accept it or not? Hurt your feelings or not? That's what it comes down to. They race swap Superman. Black people gonna gaslight people into liking it.
Okay.
Because whenever you criticize what's going on, they always try to throw the race because they expect everyone to cheer it on and accept it when everyone knows it's bullshit.
Nobody cares. The general public.
They do care.
They do.
Yes, they do.
I guarantee you, if Superman is black in the next movie, it's going to sell well.
If they didn't care, those games would have done well.
It'll sell well off of the name recognition. Why aren't these original characters doing well? Why can't you answer that?
Why aren't the original?
Why are they flopping?
The original characters? The original characters are still
doing well.
What happened
to the
They're not doing well. They got fucking canceled.
What about the
Miles Morales is Spider-Man? It has the Spider-Man brand recognition.
Is he not an original black character?
No, he's basically fucking Spider-Man, but black. It's Spider-Man. They look at Miles Morales, they're like Spider-Man.
How is he not an original character?
He is. Let me explain that.
He's not.
People were pissed off about
Spider-Man, who was black, because they barely acknowledge his.
How exactly is he? How exactly is he the same exact character like
Hold
Spider-Man?
on.
Does he not have his own set of unique powers, like going invisible and electrocuting people?
Hold on.
Let's spirit talk. Let's spirit talk.
My whole channel about the Ultimate Universe. People were pissed off about Miles Morales because of the death of Ultimate Spider-Man. If you don't know what happened before that comic, we had Ultimates 3 and Ultimatum. Those two books basically killed the Ultimate Universe line. And the last good book we had was Ultimate Spider-Man. Like literally a few months after that event, we got the death of Ultimate Spider-Man, which is good, but it pissed a lot of people off. And then what they decided to do was to introduce Miles to be the next Spider-Man. Nobody wanted this when it first happened. Nobody asked for this. It took a long time for people to even start liking Miles, but the whole inception to this character, even Michael Bendis said it himself. He wanted him to be a black version of Spider-Man. That was the original intention of making the character. Not because of if it actually made sense. He just wanted a black Spider-Man in general. And when people constantly bring this up, people get offended by it. And it's
so
like
when a black person takes a mantle of another superhero, because that's what superheroes are, their mantles, they often get passed down or whatever. So when a black person takes it, it has to be a very good reason.
No. Ultimates 3 and Ultimatum happened. They're pretty awful books. And then you killed off the best character of the entire Ultimate Universe line. Yeah. Like, a lot of people are going to be pissed off about it. I'm telling you, those two books are pretty fucking bad. Sorry about my language, but I mean, they're awful. And also, then killing off the most favorite character of the entire universe. Like, yeah, that's why people were pissed. But don't get it twisted. People know why Miles is about. He's there to basically be black Spider-Man,
and to your point about it, when a black person takes the mantle, whatever. When when a white dude became Spawn, it was also dog shit.
Because like I already explained,
but keyword, no, it's not different. It's different because your perspective. I'm not mad. I'm talking to you, but you keep interrupting me, so I have to talk louder than you because you keep fucking interrupting me. If you just shut up and let me finish, then then I'll get to the point. But anyway, when it comes to Spawn, when they race swap Spawn to be white, it failed, and it's not the same thing. That's made up fucking bullshit mental gymnastics that people do to justify race swaps, to justify blackwashing. Whitewashing and blackwashing both fucking suck.
I already explained how taking a character that's in the majority and swapping for
and you're wrong, and that's wrong. So that's
wrong. So that's wrong.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It is wrong. It's gaslighting. It's mental gymnastics. It's wrong.
Exactly. Maria.
Yeah.
Are you a man?
I mean, I'm trans.
Oh, right.
Why did you ask that question?
I didn't know.
No, I wasn't talking about you, Spirit. I was talking about Revenant.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you're a man.
Yeah, I am. Thank you. Thanks for respecting my gender identity.
Okay, all right. Thanks for letting me know, Martin.
Oh my god.
These niggas dumb, bro.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. It makes sense now. So yeah.
This guy thinks he's a woman. So. His entire argument makes sense now.
Oh, so now y'all just blatantly being transphobic. Okay.
I mean, there's no such thing as transphobic.
What is?
A man can't be a woman can't be a man. You have chromosomes. Your chromosomes are male.
Come on.
Do you know what a chromosome is? Do you know what a chromosome is? You know what a chromosome is?
You know, majority of the scientific community disagrees with y'all, right?
And you know that's bullshit, and no amount of gaslighting is going to change that a man is not a woman and a woman's not a man.
Conservatives don't live in fucking reality.
All right, we don't live in reality. You walk around with a dick swinging around and you think you're a woman.
A man who thinks he's a woman is talking about living in reality. Make that make sense.
So you guys pretty much already say y'all disagree
supporting
with
and defending race swap characters. And the first comment you want to leave is, "Aren't you LGBT?"
No, it sounds like you disagree with science, but sure,
okay,
sure thing. Whatever you need to say.
All
right, and the dick and balls and testosterone and chromosomes you have say that you're a man.
You want to join, so then you can defend your point.
Sex is a lot more complicated than chromosomes, right?
Bullshit. You're a fucking man. There's no
I can show you a
gaslighting.
source for that.
Listen, the source is you have a dick. You have a dick, so you're a man. You have dick and balls, you're a man.
That's not always the case.
Yeah, BS,
This ain't
BS,
the way,
BS.
man.
So if it disagrees with you, it's BS.
No,
Reality.
reality
How do you
is
know this?
Allegedly,
because of reality.
How do you know it?
stops
What
COVID, but that didn't
reality
work, right?
shows you this?
Your chromosomes, your dick and balls, your fucking
But when
semen count.
scientists tell you that's
Your
not
semen
always the
count.
case,
All right,
Right.
when you have intersex people that are hermaphrodites, that's not the same as trans. A man is not a woman is not a man.
but I'm saying that scientists agree that trans identity is valid. Have y'all done any research on this?
Again, most
You're
talking about
Have y'all done
scientists.
any reading?
I know what biology is. I understand fucking science. I don't care what scientists have been paid to fucking say. I don't care what Shill's. I don't care what these people are. They are paid to say it. There's political interest in them saying it. A man is not a woman is not a man. Period.
Like big.
Sorry, sorry, but not sorry. Period.
I mean, y'all wouldn't say this in my face anyway, so I don't really care. Because biggest like y'all are just only online. That's why I don't show your faces or anything.
Okay. Is that what you look like? That's your face?
Is that supposed to be a threat? Please don't. I've been trying to de-escalate this situation.
But Revenant, if the scientific community agrees that trans identities are valid, who are you to say that's incorrect?
Scientist community. What is this community?
Have you done any reading on it? On trans people or
transgenders?
Yeah, I'm asking. Have you done any research on how the scientific community?
Yeah, I have. They
so you know that majority. You know the majority of them agree.
Where they get paid a lot of money to do that.
Any evidence?
Where Democrats and the left gaslight them into making it seem like it's a legit thing when all it is, it's destroying people's bodies. That's why the suicide rate is very high amongst your people.
What do you mean, your people?
Have you done some research on that? Have you looked into the suicide rate of transgenders?
Yeah.
When they want to detransition, why do you think they want to detransition? What about the trans youth?
Hold on,
right?
detransitions make up a very low percent, right?
A low percent is also the same amount as transgenders, who make up a low percent as well.
Extremely small percentage of
a
people.
very small percentage.
Just as much as there's always a low percent of people who support original black characters.
Yep.
That's a good point there. I must say.
Oh my god. So. Oh my god.
But anyways, whatever, right? So, y'all just so what is your source to back up they're being paid by the Democrats and all this shit? Or is this another conspiracy for y'all?
Oh yeah, there he goes. More buzzwords. Conspiracy. Women have dicks. It's a conspiracy.
I mean, y'all literally have been y'all have been doing the same thing since I got here. Y'all just repeating whatever channels y'all watch.
Reality is not YouTube channels. What the fuck are you talking about?
What?
That happens over here.
I said y'all just been repeating any anti-woke YouTube channels y'all watch. Y'all use the same buzzwords. Y'all use the same arguments.
And what you're doing now is the equivalency of what you're saying we're doing. But again, you do understand that groups gain traction because there are people with similar thought processes, right? Just like there are people like you that believe that the lie that women can be men and men can be women.
But how do you know that's a lie when you yourself is not a scientist?
All right. Are you a scientist? Are you a scientist?
No, but
how do you know you're not a scientist, right?
Agrees with me.
You're not a scientist. You're the scientists that disagree, right? You know how many studies get overturned in history?
Show me something.
Have you looked into that? The scientists disagree?
I'm not the main host right now, so I can't post shit.
Oh, Revenant, do it. You can do it. You're the main host.
I'm
not posting shit for you. You don't tell me what to do,
bro. No one has to post shit.
I'm the main
host. The fact that you're sitting here trying to gaslight and make it and use your head cannon that a man with a dick could put a skirt on and say he's a woman.
I know damn well this nigga did not just say head cannon.
Your head cannon. That's what it is. Your head cannon. Your head cannon. You're made up shit.
What is it that the individual wanted to see?
I know this tranny didn't just try to correct me.
Oh, now you're losing slurs?
Oh, tranny's a slur? Tranny's a slur? That's not a fucking slur. Tranny's not a slur. It's not tranny. It's not tranny, but it's not. Tranny. It's not. It's not.
Conservatives don't.
Mentally ill
conservatives
man who
don't
thinks
use
he's a
English.
woman. Mentally ill man who thinks his name is Maria. Get your head
Wait,
examined.
hold on. So you can't change your name now?
You could change your name, but you're the one who's saying you're a
No,
woman.
you
you said
said
you're a
I
woman.
think my
Did you
name
not
is
say?
that.
Did you not say
said
you're a woman? Did you not say
said
you're a
I
woman?
think my name is that, as
Did
if
you
that's
not say
the
you're a
case.
woman? Did you not say you're a woman?
No.
Did you answer the question? Answer the question. Answer the question. Did you not say you were a woman?
I said I was trans.
All right, you said you were trans. What did you transition to? All right, do the mental gymnastics to try to win and try to figure a way to make this go in your favor. Go ahead, think about it. You said you're a woman. You're not a woman. You're a man with a dick. Sorry.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
Put some Benny Hill on.
No, I'm just kind of mind broken right now over y'all stuff.
You've been mind broken, bro. You think you could be a woman? That's already mind broken.
Y'all, we were having a discussion about wokeness, and then y'all immediately
we were talking about it. You were going back and forth in circles and try to gaslight your points. That made no sense.
I've been trying to
telling you about how these characters
y'all just been repeating
are
each
being
other.
race swapped. Why they're being race swapped?
Time.
The people who don't want it. Spirit of Paradox even explained the comic
And
book
y'all use
community
the same
that rejected
nitpicking-
Miles Morales. He even explained the reason
And
why
is that
Miles
what-
Morales
is
was
that
even
why
fighting
so
the
many
most
people
because
see
he
the
tried
movie?
to tell us a lie
I've been
about the character.
Universe.
Y'all niggas mad, bro.
Sounds like you're mad, bro. You got those angry emotions right now.
Because
Hey,
there's
it's
so
y'all.
much
Y'all the ones raising y'all
Hormones
voices.
are coming in.
Hey, you're the one who interrupts people, so we have to raise our voice because you don't
I've
have
been
the
getting
maturity.
interrupted many times here.
You don't have the maturity to
Testosterone.
shut up and let people talk. You interrupted me from the first question you asked me. You didn't even let me
You're the one that
finish.
started calling me slurs, bro. You the one that started calling me
Tranny's not a
Listen,
slur.
'cause you don't want to
How do
Tranny's
you
not
know-
a slur.
How is that
The
not a
reason.
slur?
Because it's not a slur. Tranny's
How do
not
you
a
know
slur.
that?
It's not. It's not a slur.
So you're just gonna keep repeating it.
Tranny? Yeah, tranny. It's not a slur.
Please Google the definition.
It's not a slur. Just because a word offends you doesn't make it a
Google
slur.
the definition of a man.
That's like saying the N-word is not a slur. Because
No, the N-word is a slur. Tranny is not a slur.
You want me to read? Okay, let's look up the actual Google definition.
Yeah, if that's the case, then a lot of people better be suing a lot of porn sites.
Trans
Oh, yeah.
is an offensive and derogatory slur for
Yeah.
transgender individuals. So how is that not a slur?
It's not, bro. It's not. Just because people are offended, just because people are offended by it doesn't mean it's a slur.
Oh, well, just because people are offended by the N-word doesn't mean it's a slur.
No, the N-word is a slur. The N-word has actually been used as a true slur.
Yeah.
Overly
so
no. People have been again, like Spirit said, if you go on a porn site, then most porn sites should be fucking sued.
I mean, I know
because
that's what
they
y'all doing because y'all don't get no pussy at all. But
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, you get a lot of I'm sure you get pussy when you're wearing your dress. Sure.
Sorry to tell
sure.
you, but
I actually do.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, Maria. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. I'm sure. I'm sure everyone loves the trannies.
Wait, I don't understand that insult. Like when porn's the most searched subject on the internet.
What's up, Melina Chan? Melina Chan's a biological black woman. Just so you know, there's also biological black men in the chat. Reborn and Y2 Viral, Octo Commander, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah.
Yo, what's up, Melina?
No, you're a man, so you should know. But yeah, biological man.
Well, I wanted to talk about some of the other subjects, but we just got so sidetracked by this.
All right. So you know what?
Calling me slurs.
You know what, Maria, do you have any final thoughts? And then we can actually get to the actual subjects. So you have any final thoughts on and say what you want to say. Get it off your chest, and then then we'll move on.
I mean, I think y'all are very bigoted and just a bunch of losers.
Okay. I think you're a mentally ill tranny. All right. So
That's why you wanted the link to come on, right? That's why you keep watching this podcast, right?
Get Maria out of here. Let's get to the subjects. You see, that's your final point. Say talk your shit now, because you're about to get thrown out of here. So
what is your final point? Y'all would like to say?
We're gonna talk about other subjects. Say your final words, and then we're gonna move on. So say what you got to say. What you said, we're bigots. What else? Losers. Go ahead. Continue.
Y'all using buzzwords too.
Okay, buzzwords. All right.
Bye, Martin. See you later, Martin.
Okay. So that's it. That's all you got.
That's it. Call me Martin.
Bye, Martin.
All right, get that bitch ass out of here. Get the tranny out of here. All right. So yeah, let's get to the actual discussions we're supposed to have.
Yeah, it all made sense. The whole back and forth, it all made sense. So I figured I would ask the question because it just seemed like it was weird. Yeah, people fucking White Chuvaro thought it was Dan Nerd.
Nah, that wasn't Dan Nerd. Come on, I'll give Dan Nerd some credit. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, I ain't gonna do Dan Nerd like that. Like, come on.
So yeah, I'll start sending the links out to people.
Yeah. Get Melina on here.
Subject, people. What is the next subject?
Yes.
Let's get a real woman on here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yo,
I heard what happened, man. That motherfucking ass is a bitch. Man, fucking ass, retard, faggot.
Oh
Get
my
that hell
god.
out of here. I heard the argument what happened, man.
God damn. Yo.
Get rid of that retard ass out of here. That dude was a retard. Oh, biggest. Shut up. Fucking leftist, leftard piece of shit. Take a hike. Fuck ass. Get the fuck out of here.
That's hilarious. That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh
I saw the new Batman Cape Crusader, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why they turn Penguin to a woman? That's stupid.
See, I completely forgot about that. Yes, Jim Patchy, it was boring.
Yeah, it was ass. It was from what I seen, it was ass.
You know what else was an ass? The kissing scene of Ray Montoya and her lover. I'm like, oh, cringe.
Bro, Royce, there's no agenda. There's no agenda. There was no reason to do that. They just happened to want to tell that story, man. That's what
I know.
That was what it was, Royce. There was no. I'm being sarcastic, but like, come on, man. Like, I can't believe the mental gymnastics people do, bro. It's insane.
Yeah, I know, man. It just made me cringe, bro. I'm like, oh, cringe.
Perfectly normal.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I like the Batman though. It looks nice.
Yeah, the design of Batman himself does look cool. The animation is fine. Like, as far as like animation quality, I think it's just the shit is just boring and it panders. So not only is it not like very good, but it's also pandering bullshit.
I know.
I watch the OG animated show on a regular basis because it's on Netflix and Prime over here. So after watching that and then watching Caped Crusader, you can see where they're trying to go with it, but it's just all mundane. Like, everything's played a little too safe, even with character designs as well, except Cobblepot being a female, of course. Like it didn't make any difference. It's like it was a pointless and unneeded change. And and a lot of people in this were very corrupt. You know, it was really trying to show that aspect of people who are corrupt in their work. But like the theme, like the actual the theme song of the show, boring. It was just basically more of animated show, just with less heart put into it. So
True.
It's boring. Like,
yeah,
I can't
it was.
really say anything other than that, really.
And not only that, sorry about that. I don't want to cut you off, but not only that, Alfred looked like fat. What the hell they done to Alfred?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That definitely feels like a show made by committee. It really does have that
I know
tone to it.
I know who's involved in this. It's J.J. Abrams. His name is on it.
Jar Jar Abrams, say no more.
Yeah,
Jar Jar.
Funny.
Jar Jar Abrams.
Fuck. Yeah, I knew for the fact that I saw his name. Like, what the hell?
Yo, Revenant, can you put Luze in timeout or whatever the fuck his name is? Can you just put this guy in timeout? Thank you.
Is he still going off in the comments?
I reported your stream. Okay. Who cares, bro?
Well, yeah. What's he saying?
This ain't a multi.
I don't get then. stuff, and
don't even like give that guy attention.
Yeah.
Just put him on timeout. Fuck him. Go
You
back
know
into
what?
to screaming in the void.
You know what? That dude
Yeah,
needs
I'm
to go.
done.
That dude needs to go to Shadow Realm and go fuck off and die.
Oh my
Shit.
god, damn.
I don't know about that. That's a
Damn.
bit much.
Damn.
man.
That I ain't saying no one should die, but he should
Yeah.
definitely like,
Shut
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
How about you send him to this? How about you send him to woke dimension? That'll be a good word.
The woke dimension.
Yup,
Alright.
that's where he belongs. Send him to woke dimension.
But yeah, just like, put him in timeout, bro. With the other
Yup.
little kids who don't know how to who don't know how to focus their thoughts.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't like what Alfred has become. It's like he was skinny and an agent, and now they made him fat. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know what like. To me, it just feels like it doesn't feel like a genuine show. From what I've seen, it just feels like content. You know how like you have shows now that they just feel like they're just content for the sake of being content.
Yup.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the vibe I get. And I really love Batman the animated series. Obviously, with Augur, you can see the influence of it as well. And like I'm a huge Batman fan, so it's kind of sad how things have come full circle. Where now I'm not excited about Batman projects, which is like it kind of is a shame because back 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever, you would have had to like really like don't even things that are like genuinely accepted as not being that good. I would like just be like, no, I love Batman. He's a good character. I can tolerate it. But it's just gotten so bad that like I can't even do that anymore. I can't even like lean into just being a fanboy. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yup.
Yeah.
Like I said, but at least the Catwoman was there. Selena looked like different. Selena
Yeah.
Kyle.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
she was alright. I saw Harley in this. She was Asian
The Harley
now.
Quinn one was awful. Like the yellow and green, that is so weird.
Well, not only that, they made her Asian, but at the same time, she just seemed like more dumpy. Like she gained weight. Like they made her like more like stumpy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw the design.
Yeah. Like she just looks more like I wouldn't even use the word thick because that's more of like a compliment. She just looks like more like broad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So
And not only that, Firefly, and now it's called Firebug. I'm like, what the?
yeah.
That's the stupidest name ever. Firebug, really?
Firebug, yeah. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, I won't pretend like it has zero quality because again, the animation is fine, the art style is fine, but those are
It's
The
positives
dark,
about it.
But it's
the
just
the
plain.
dark and edgy humor was fine, and I like how the gangsters with the 1930s gun, like noir style. I like the artwork of that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like the 30s style. Like there's some good qualities to it, but overall the show is just not good, in my opinion.
Nope. A friend of mine said J.J. Abrams turned from gold into dust. He has a
Yeah.
point.
Treasure Edition is right. He said, let me just read this comment. He said, let woke people speak. They can't hide their stupidity from normal people. Yeah, yeah. It's terrible logic. Terrible logic. You just let them talk and they blow, it's like that mentality, that saying, you let them blow themselves up. Not literally, YouTube, not literally, but you know what I mean. Like let them put their own foot in their mouths. But Spirit, how
Yeah.
much of it did you watch yourself of the show?
So I
Well,
went up to all of it. So basically, like in the end, Two-Face gives his life to save Barbara, and the
that's what I
corrupt
just
cops
saw. Yup.
yeah, and the
That's
corrupt
bizarre.
cops get caught in the end. Like it was just boring. Like
Like,
as you said, it felt like a content show. Like there was nothing that was distinct. When I look at this new Two-Face compared to the old one from the original show, it's like it's not as good as the original. It just felt like more of Batman. Like that's
Yeah.
all it felt like. Just more of Batman.
And let's be real, there was no chance that it was going to be close to good as Batman the Animated Series. Even if they wrote it with like all in good faith, with like a true great creative team, there was a low chance it would ever reach the the levels of the original show anyway. So
Yeah. And like I said about Two-Face, his right side is bad and not the left. I'm like, the original had left side bad instead of the right.
Mm, but I would say the design in this one is just kind of generic. Like it didn't have nothing too crazy. Like when I think of
No.
Two-Face, you think of two different kinds of faces, like
People. Yup.
but it just looked like
Exactly.
those stars were just a bit.
Yeah. Not only that,
Yeah,
remember Two-Face used to flip a coin like this original, but the newer one, he doesn't do that.
yeah, yeah. Like even you take woke stuff or whatever out of it, it's just like Spirit said, like it just seems boring. Like from what I didn't watch the whole show, admittedly, but from what I've seen, it just looked really boring. And
It
again,
is.
like, and it's subversive. It's like when I'm so tired of everything having to be extremely subversive. You know what I mean? Like, just give us Batman. Stop. I'm so tired of like every adaptation having to be like, yeah, but this time, Penguin's a woman, or this time, Bruce Wayne's parents were also implicit with criminals or whatever. It's like, just give me like a contemporary Batman with an interesting story. It's like if you look at like the old Sherlock Holmes books and stories, Sherlock Holmes was fairly consistent, but the world around him and the problems were interesting enough where the story never became stale. You know what I mean? And I wish writers
mm-hmm.
would lean into that mentality of like you just putting an existing character with with established lore into a situation that's interesting instead of reworking everything for the sake of being subversive.
Right.
No, apparently
Um,
they know better. These boring creatives.
Let me read Neozo's question real quick, and I'll answer it, and then we'll start off with the first topic. Revenant and crew, what are your thoughts on other Batman shows? The Batman 2004, Batman Brave and Bold, and Beware the Batman.
so
I think they're pretty good.
I like all of
Actually
them.
enjoyed them.
I
So,
think Beware
yeah.
the Batman is the weakest, but out of that
Yeah,
lineup you gave. But I love Brave and the Bold. It's a little silly, but I love like it kind of reminds me of like the Silver Age comics. You know what I mean? Or like like the Silver Age, where like in like the team up era, where you'd have like these like really wacky out there stories. I think Brave and the Bold is actually pretty good. The Batman is great. I like I see the Batman is different enough where they made a lot of changes, but I felt like it was still a great show. You know what I mean? With some of the changes they made, like Penguin being a martial artist and stuff like that. You know,
Is that Batman the one where Joker has dreadlocks?
yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one too.
And wasn't he voiced by what's his face? Damn, what was his name again?
He was
Mark
voiced by
Phil Lamar.
no. He was voiced by no, it's not Phil Lamar. It's the guy from American Dad, Principal Lewis. Michael something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't remember his
forgot
name.
his
You know,
name.
you ever seen American Dad? You know Principal Lewis?
I watched
He-
American Dad, but I don't know who that was.
Yeah. But he's a phenomenal voice actor. He did a great job. And damn, I wish I
Yeah, he
remembered
is.
his name. I really wish. But yeah, he voiced him in. I like that show. It's different. It's different enough where it has its own distinct identity, but it's not so subversive where the show becomes like boring or just like you feel no iconography from it. You know what I mean?
Kevin
Mhm.
Michael Richardson.
Kevin Michael Richardson. Yeah, I had the
Thanks,
Michael
Enzo.
part. I forgot the rest of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's great in that show. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Reno Romano voice Batman? He also voiced Spider-Man, right? In Spider-Man Unlimited. So
Oh, snap! Yes, Spider-Man
yeah,
Unlimited as well.
yeah, he voiced him in that. I believe it's the same voice. I feel like I'm getting it wrong, but I want to say it's Reno Romano or something like that. But he that he did great in that show as Bruce Wayne. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that show I think it's good. I think it's one of those like shows people don't talk about, but it's like I was watching it not that long ago, and it's surprisingly entertaining.
So let's start off with the first topic. Well, actually, real quick, let me quickly talk about Visions of Mana, the demo, because I know I'm probably the only one who like played it or even care about the game. So I'll quickly give my thoughts on it.
I didn't
It's not
play
the
it.
same like what they did with Trials of Mana, where you start from the beginning, you select the character you want to play as, and it'll carry over your progress from wherever the demo ends. Which was actually a pretty lengthy demo, but with Visions of Mana, it places you like somewhere. I wouldn't say I don't think it's in the middle of the story, but it's somewhere like fairly early on. You have like your party with you. So it was pretty good. Want to say that the combat felt a little better, like um
If
in
you can,
Trials of Mana.
sorry to interrupt you. If you can, let Spirit of Paradox back in because I think he
Yeah,
accidentally left.
I'll let a
Yeah.
few people in.
Yeah, but yeah, just continue. I just wanted to point that out.
So yeah,
Oh,
like
hello,
you start
guys.
off with I don't remember the name of the class, but it has you use a great sword, so it feels kind of like slow, and it felt kind of weird, like I don't know, like kind of off. I don't know. And I highly doubt like anything is really going to be drastically different when the game comes out, even if it has a day one patch. But it was pretty good. It wasn't as long as the Trials of Mana demo, and I liked how the visuals look really good, especially in cutscenes. You have these special moves that you can do that look cool, and music was all right, and it looks good, but I don't know if I would want to get it like day one, to be honest. Like, I really enjoyed Trials of Mana, but after playing this demo, I'm not sure if it's like something I would want to get like day one, especially I think Black Myth Wukong is coming out this month.
Yeah,
Towards the end of the month. So yeah,
but I really like the art style. I find the art style to be
yeah,
like really
it
beautiful
definitely
to look
pops
at.
out. It's really good.
Yeah, it looks really good. It definitely does. So
Graphics though. Like I was surprised. My friend told me about that game, and I was absolutely shocked with how small the dev team is for that one and how good the graphics look. But yeah, man, I can't wait to get my hands on
Yeah.
Wukong.
yeah, I think it's gonna be great. I feel like it might have
Yeah,
like a
me
little bit of a
too.
Sekiro thing going on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
seems
that's
like
the
it does.
vibe I get.
Anyway.
And I really
Yeah.
love Sekiro. I don't know if you played Sekiro, Spirit, or Revenant. I mean, Revenant, I think you played it a little bit. I know, but
A little bit.
I love Sekiro. I thought it was great, honestly.
Hopefully
So
they have a demo for it. Black Myth
I think
Wukong.
they will. I think they will. I'm fairly positive they will.
So let me bring who should I bring on? Let me bring on Reborn because I know it's like kind of late where he's at, so he may not be able. I don't waiting for too long, and I'll bring in let me start for Reborn and Octo Commander so you can get their comment on whatever it is we're going to talk about
Yeah,
first.
yeah. I really do hope that Black Myth Wukong is similar to Sekiro because I just want to scratch that itch of like a character action game with like some Souls elements,
Hello,
but not
y'all.
totally.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
Reborn, what's up, bro?
Yeah, I'm fine, fine. And also,
So Reborn.
let's hope Black Myth Wukong sell well as a true game.
Oh yeah, I hope so too. I hope it does well.
Yeah.
We need more games like
We
fun.
need more game like that. And I
Yeah.
hope developers continue that way and ignore all these type of small individual groups. They
Yeah.
need to ignore these small individual groups because they're not there for true and creativity of art, gameplay, and style and representation. They just there for the messaging just. And look what happened.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
and it's gonna be I heard that they said that they're not gonna play ball, right? Didn't they like push back and say like we're not doing it or something?
Yeah,
like that?
that's why IGN fucking is putting out a bunch of smear pieces on them about alleged sexual harassment and that they basically the developers had rejected Sweet Baby Inc.
Exactly,
So,
bro.
allegedly, at least.
And that's what happened, bro. Let me tell you this. And that's why that guy, even though he left, that's why you see him act like that, bro. Cause he know he doesn't like that game. So he's willing to like maybe to find a way to get maybe his other echo chambers of these, small minority of dumbasses want to like cancel it, but you damn know it's not gonna work.
You know what it
Damn
is,
know.
too, bro? To that point, Reborn, perception is reality. And if unfortunately, if your perception is skewed and you're surrounding with people that are they're feeding into your like they're I don't know what the word is, like they're just feeding into your like false perception, and they're playing and they're co-signing it, it's just gonna make it worse, and you get like crazy levels of delusion. So
Yeah,
honestly, I'm not surprised, right? I'm just not surprised. People throw logic out the window when their feelings get hurt. And
that's
again,
exactly,
like,
bro.
when you're talking to talk and not listen and not pay attention, and you start, disrespecting
That's
other
what it
people,
was. Yeah.
then you lose your right to the same respect. If you can't respect
Exactly,
others,
bro.
then you yourself have proven you're not entitled to the same respect.
Exactly.
So, it
Yeah.
is what it is. What it is.
It
I mean, because
is what
look at Spirit Paradox. Spirit of Paradox made a point about how the porn industry uses the word trans as, I mean, not trans. They use the word tranny all the time in their videos, right?
Thank you.
That doesn't imply that Spirit of Paradox
Franny.
or even I watch porn like that. But because he's emotional and not paying attention, he's like, "Oh, you guys watching porn? You get no whatever." See, you get what I'm saying? There's no level of, hey, let me actually pay attention to what's being said. So when I speak, it actually makes sense. And that's actually a perfect example of that, where he didn't even listen to Spirit, listen to me. He's like, oh, well, yeah, you guys are watching porn, blah, 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 blah. When everyone knows that whether you watch it or not, most people know that that's a thing that is important. You know what I'm saying? But that requires you to have common sense and the ability to comprehend what people are saying. I'm not surprised if you think that a man could be a woman. I'm not surprised that you're delusional and your mind is broken. I'm not surprised by that.
Has nobody been
He
paying
immediately
attention
came
to
in
the
being
Olympics?
disingenuous because that's
Exactly,
what he wanted to do.
but no, you're paying attention to Olympics. Yeah, I'm biological man. I know you got biological female. That's it. And to be honest, let me say this: he's gonna be mad because the fact like he does have no category to that sport because he wants like fit in the biological female category of that sport. But damn no, he is a biological man. And to be honest, there is no way of saying that he is a woman, but he's not. He's just a general man. That's it. I'm sorry. There is nothing to the point of the hidden gender. It's just I'm gonna be real. It's just full on surgeries. And sorry if I do get cancelled, but what it is. I go watch it, and you say Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, in the end of the day, man.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be delusional, if you're gonna whatever energy you put forth, you're gonna receive. If you're delusional and you're not paying attention and not listening, interrupting people, you can't be mad at people talking over you and not respecting when it's your time to speak. It's just like, it's common sense. I'm not even gonna go into it more because it's common sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's common sense, bro. Because I'm just tired of these type of delusional people. That's the thing, bro. But not
Treasure Edison, we've never tried, but I don't know who side scrollers are, but I'll check them out.
Oh, basic.
I think I told you about them before. I don't think they would have us on because I don't think we're big enough. So, to be honest,
yeah.
Hey, speak for yourself. I have 5 subscribers. No, let me stop. I'm joking.
we are smaller chance to them, and to be honest, we gotta like think if we want to collaborate with these type of people. I do see side scrollers like Treasure Edison. Yeah, they're okay for a short point. Yeah.
They're good. I like them. They're good.
And also, even though, right?
Maybe one day.
Let me say this. Even though, what is it? Like I said, the thing where you said Chinese is not a slur word. I would say this: the N word is a slur word, but the Chinese,
No, they're trying to make it one because of obviously political reasons.
Exactly. That's the thing.
We try to tell them that, but,
it's BS. It's like, honestly, bro, it's just BS. And like, again, like, there's a level of delusion where at a certain point you just have to accept somebody's far gone. Like, imagine being a man. Imagine like you're a man.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you're a man and wants to be a woman should show you that a person needs serious help.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying that to be mean,
bro.
I'm not even saying that in a mocking way. I wish these people would just get therapy because clearly they need help, and I actually empathize with the fact that
Psychological
these people
help.
need help.
Fully.
They need.
Psychological help.
Yeah.
I empathize with the fact that someone could be like, if somebody's schizophrenic or bipolar, and some bipolar people can become manic and dangerous. I look at it like there's still a person that they need help. So I look at trans people like that as well. They need help. They need
they need help, bro. For real.
But I'm not gonna let someone propagate stupid shit or try to gaslight, because then it becomes dangerous to other people.
And
like
to be clear, to clear things up, so there's no confusion. The reason why to him about if he was a man or not. I mean, I already knew he was once he opened his mouth. But I asked the question because I noticed how the conversation was going. You can tell the disingenuousness and the sidestepping and all that nonsense. So that's why I had to ask if they were respectful and actually really wanted to have a genuine conversation about this stuff. I would have just left it alone. But
thank you.
Well, remember the first thing that they asked you was if you're LGBT or not.
Looked at it as like you know what, this person's not showing respect. This person's, so I look at it as, you know what, I don't owe them respect or anything like that.
Exactly.
The first thing he asked you,
the first thing he asked something is it wasn't the other way around.
He asked you. The first thing he asked you in the comments was, "Are you gay or not?" Like, that's relevant.
Yeah. So aren't you part of LGBT? That made no mention of anything LGBT.
This type of stuff. See that tactic.
Whatever.
That question.
But yeah, let's move on from it because
let's move on.
But let's move on because it's like I said again. It's like the crazy crackhead throwing rocks at your car. You drive past him and move on.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. By the way, I will say this. Even though we all know GameStop is pretty, train wreck and Game Informer, but to be honest, Game Informer is like an
Hold on, wait. Let me let everyone know like what we're going to talk about before we jump into it.
Sorry.
Since you had mentioned it, we'll talk about Game Informer has shut down. I think it was after 33 years of being around, and they were informed like the morning of, was it Friday or something, that they were shut down. It was Thursday or Friday, I don't remember which one. So they were informed and they closed everything down like immediately, like everything was like done, shut down. And the parent company is GameStop, and I would assume a lot of it has to do with, no one really cares about physical magazines anymore, unfortunately. And magazines that they were selling for years, and didn't know that wasn't going too well. And I think a lot of people just don't. It's another example of why people don't care about or even trust journalists nowadays. And, it's sad to see them go. R.I.P. and whatnot. I remember reading a couple. It was like a couple of pages of. I believe they were interviewing and talking about Anita Sarkeesian.
Hold on.
Around 2014.
Let me just say something real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Usual shit with her.
Can you hear me?
There was that. There was something else, but I'll pull up the.
It might be a delay. Let me just say this real quick. Octo Commander, thanks for the $75 donation on my channel. You're the man, bro. I truly appreciate it. I'm very grateful. Thank you very much. Seriously, I did not expect that, and honestly, truly, thank you, man. And more of my animation and stuff. I just saw right now. I got a notification of that, and I just want to say thank you. That was a very, very generous donation, man. So thank you very much. I just had to interject with that because I didn't want to forget.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, that was very, very kind of him. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, it really was.
Continue what you were saying.
So I'll let you guys talk. It had something to do with Dead or Alive 5 or 6. Clearly had an issue with the game for obvious reasons. So, who wants to? I'll let Reborn get back
Yeah.
to what he was originally saying about
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Oh, about the gaming phone. Like I saying, like it's just like, you know, it's it's just like a small view of the company wise. Even though majority of people used to like get their copy of the games and all that, but when I see it shut down, I say I got nothing to say about it. To be honest with you, got nothing to say about it because right now I'd say this. Even though the Western gaming mainstream media is currently in, you know, a rather dark hole, but not instead just making it rise up again. So there is like no, nothing, bro, nothing. And also, yeah, but when it came down to like Bungie, I would talk about Bungie, but Bungie is currently like a dead company. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't play like Destiny and all that, but like my homie Spirit do play Destiny, but he knows a lot about Bungie more than me, bro. But but for me, I'm not a Destiny fan. But can I ask you this, Reverend Jimpachi? Do you ever play Destiny or
I
Destiny
played
2 or not
Destiny.
really?
I played
What
Destiny, the first one.
so what's your thought about it? Because I
Well,
used to see how much these what is it? These type of mainstream media and how much they're trying to like, they're trying to like come up with that female couch around the Destiny and how they sit down and all that. And I say, bro, really? Through the city and all that type of stuff?
so for me, all right. So here's how I look at those games, right?
Yeah.
Let's when you take away that a lot of them are shallow
Yo, what's up, Gamer
microtransaction.
Woody?
Gamer Woody, you can't have a stream without the Gamer Woody. But anyway,
Yeah, we need Game Woody up in the stream. Game Woody, come on the stream, bro.
but I
Come
wanted
on.
to say about Destiny, when it comes to Destiny, like, and games like that, like for me, I was playing with my older brother, because my older brother, he doesn't really like, he games but more casually, and we don't really like talk like that as much as we should. So like we would play Destiny together a bit, and I found that kind of fun. I think games like that are fun when you play with friends, but ultimately as a game itself, is actually not that bad compared to other, like, online shooters, service games. But so I'll give Destiny a little bit of a pass, but overall they're just not that good. I know Destiny 2 I could care less about, or whatever. I think what sells those games is the fact that people want to play them together with like their friends or whatever, or their family.
Yeah, but I would say this because personally, I'm gonna be real. Because even me,
But I don't like the but before you continue, I just want to say I'm not a fan of that game design. It's not what I gravitate toward. But
thanks, homie. Thanks.
but it was more of a thing where, like, all right, my brother wants to play the game with me. I was interested a bit when it first came out, so I did play it with him a bit. So it was more of that reason. But I generally don't like those kind of, like, even free to play ones. They're just like time dumps and microtransaction like fest. And I know some people are into it, but for me, they're not really appealing. Like Last Descendant has, like, the
Let me
waifu
answer.
yeah. So anyway, I just want to say this: the waifu stuff in Last Descendant is like entertaining, but those games aren't interesting enough for me to like continuously play something like that. As an example, in relation to Destiny and what we were talking about, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. And can I say something? Even though, what is it?
Let me quickly. Answer.
Alright.
Treasure Edison. Hold on. Ever heard of El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron? Yeah, I actually like that game. Really good game. I think it was made by one of the people who worked on the combat for Devil May Cry. One of the original people, I believe, or something. One of the people. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it's actually a really good game. I like the art style. Has good music, and it's just a really fun game. So I kind of wish it got more love. But
yeah,
anyway.
It's interesting subject matter too. When you look at like the Judaic, the Judeo, like, religious stuff that's implied in the story. It's interesting. It's very unique in that regard.
Also, a quick fun fact. I don't know if you heard of the game The Lost Child, which is like a first-person dungeon crawler. JR, I forgot his name, from the main character for El Shaddai. He's actually can actually join your party and fight alongside you and all that.
That's interesting.
So
I didn't know that.
pretty
That's
cool.
really cool.
Actually, the main the guy who was, I think he was Lucifer in El Shaddai with he has like a black suit and a cell phone. I believe he's also in The Lost Child as well, but he's not a character you can play as. He's just a character in the game.
But I love
So-
that kind of like unexpected crossover world building, kind of like when Nier Automata and like other stuff like that. I think that's really cool with like Drakengard, if I'm not mistaken. So
What was that? You cut out on my end.
no, I was saying that I kind of like when you have two series that are totally different, but then they in an unexpected way kind of cross over, kind of like Nier and was it Drakengard, where like there's like a connection.
Drakengard,
there.
yeah.
So I love stuff like that when like it's like,
Yeah,
oh wait,
yeah, I like
I
that.
didn't know this lore. Like it's kind of like that movie Unbreakable with Bruce Willis where he's like a superhero. I had no clue that it connected with that movie Split. But then when they tied them together, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't expect them to be like really in the same world or universe. So, I mean, it's interesting, when they do that kind of like subtle world building and universe building.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to continue. What is it? I want to say this.
What's up,
I
Soul
haven't
Sunk?
spoken on this. I haven't spoken yet. Hold up.
All right.
So we were talking about Game Informer and Bungie. So I'll
Right.
be quick.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
it comes
let's
down
stick on
to
that.
Game Informer, like it's a bit peak because I heard Game Informer was like one of the last good video game journalists, but I wouldn't really know because I haven't really paid attention to one of them in a good few years. So it's a bit sad to see
Same.
them go before Kotaku. It's like, really? Kotaku outlasted Game Informer? That's a shame.
Yeah,
And
it's like yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as for Bungie, it's a bit mad
Yeah,
because
it
I
really
grew up
is.
playing Halo and grew up playing Destiny 1 till its death, and like stopped playing Destiny in year 1 of Destiny 2. So I've pretty much been a Destiny veteran since the first game's inception, innit? And I've absolutely loved the experience for the most part. But it's mad to see after getting like $3 billion from Sony, they've managed to fuck up the business so badly. It's like, what the hell where did that money go? It's like you just got paid out extra, and Sony paid extra to keep all your employees working there. So it's like, what have you been doing with that money? Like, is it have you been overspending for?
It's in
for
somebody's
something?
nose.
Yeah, because it's mad to me to think like, and I've always spoke about this on my old YouTube channel when I was making Destiny content. There was one point, right, when like Warframe was getting a bit of buzz because of Railjack, which was like space fighting or some game mode like that. I remember a lot of Destiny fans getting really pissy when it got mentioned. But it's like, wow, can you believe it? Warframe actually outlived Destiny. That's mad. Because I remember when people were saying, nah, they're not the same. The concept is similar, but I get what they were trying to say. But it's like, man, everybody was trying to make a Destiny clone.
Yeah.
You know?
That was
Like,
frustrating though. That was a bit frustrating.
In it, like the whole of last generation, everyone wanted a Destiny. And
Well,
it's
they're
like,
still doing it now.
Nah, exactly. But look what happened.
it's just
Game
mad. Like,
Sony flopping with their what is it? The last live service game called Concord, but it ain't doing well. It ain't doing well, bro.
true,
So
true.
Spirit, so finish what you were saying. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
Yeah, like it's just mad to think that the whole industry basically idolized this video game and this company's model for so long, and it's just to see that the people who did it first somewhat be the most successful
Yeah,
at it has basically just fallen apart. Like, there is no new content coming for Destiny 2. There is no Destiny 3 now. Like, what did you do with all of that money? Like,
Neozoic,
somebody
take care, man.
like-
Thanks for tuning in, bro. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yes, hello,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks for tuning in,
Neozo.
Neozo.
You're awesome,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Always got good
Have a good day.
questions. We always appreciate you. Yeah.
You sound thank you.
Yeah, man, it's just
Well,
an end of an era kind of thing, you know.
I want to give some of my thoughts on this though, because I haven't talked about it yet about the Game Informer thing. I used to love Game Informer back in the day. I used to get so excited when I would get the magazine. I mean, because my you know, when I was younger, my mom would get me like magazine subscriptions and my grandmother, but they wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't tell me that like I didn't like, or like, you know what I mean? Like they would just surprise me. So like she'll be like, "Oh, this came in the mail for you," and my name would be on it, and it'll be like Game Informer or like some of like the Dragon Ball Z like things that they used to have back in the day. I don't know if you remember them, but
I do. I remember getting demo discs with my gaming magazines.
yeah, and and I was so excited, and I know that's something I really appreciate about my mom and grandmother, that they, you know, that means that they really, you know, when people do stuff like that, that means they really love you, you know, when they take interest in what you're into. But anyway, that being said, I like, it's kind of like I hate to see them go, but in a way, like, unfortunately, like everything gets so tainted. It's kind of like, you know, when you see like you have like a girlfriend or like and she becomes a zombie or something, or like, and you're watching her and she's not in like a state of like life anymore. It's kind of like you just gotta let her go out of her misery, you know. Remember her before she was a zombie. That's kind of how I feel about like Game Informer and like other things like G4, where I used to like G4. It's like you have to like accept that, hey, this is the living dead now.
Or like when you have to look after someone really old.
Kind of, yeah. And it's like you see them suffering, yeah. You see like, all right, they're old and you love them, but you also accept that, you know, they're no longer suffering. In a way, I kind of have that relationship with this stuff where it's like it's a walking skin suit. It's a zombie. Game Informer hasn't been the same. It's like they've gone with the agendas and stuff. Like they're a living corpse. And so I don't get eaten, I have to put them down. That's kind of how I look at it, you know. So, but as far as like the Destiny thing goes, because I wanted to elaborate a little bit more, they're still doing those trends now. I mean, like the game like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Concord, like that's still a trickle down of Destiny, right? It's still like even Last Descendant. I mean, the First Descendant. I keep saying Last Descendant. I don't know why. The First Descendant. It's kind of like a trickle down of that mentality of like, you know, that kind of servicey game. And like I said before with the First Descendant, I brought that up because that's kind of a game that like I would play if I was into that kind of thing. But the heavy MTX and the like that kind of like grindy gameplay doesn't suit me. It doesn't mean it's bad. It like not all live service games are bad.
It's gotten bad. It's certainly gotten bad now.
Yeah. Like no, not every live service game is bad by default, but most of them are bad. Yeah, right? It's like it can work as a concept when done correctly, but you know, who's done it correctly? How many people have done it right? You know, so
yeah, that's true. Let me quickly read this quote that I found because people were showing it online about something Game Informer had posted about Dead or Alive 6. I'm not sure if it's a review or not, but anyway, I'm only going to read what's highlighted on the image. That's what's really like what's really important here. Worse yet, it occasionally leans into the series penchant for a cringe-inducing fan service. Another part under graphics, you know, I'm assuming this is a review because it's like labeling things on the graphics and all that. So I where does it say? Fuck. Oh, okay. I rolling creepiness as far as like the characters and all that. I mean, obviously talking about the female characters. So, and keep in mind, Dead or Alive 6 came out, you know, a few years ago. And so my assumption is that they probably just like flew under the radar for a lot of people. I mean, kind of like you know when Spirit was talking about like he hadn't kept up with them in like so many years. Like I'm like that's why I said like same because I think that's true for a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people even like saying like, oh damn, they're gone. That sucks. They probably haven't kept up with them in so many years, and you know I just think probably one of the reasons why Kotaku and others are around. Maybe they got more funding behind the scenes. That's or possibly true. That they just stay more relevant than say Game Informer because they usually say a bunch of dumb shit, and it's kind of like a quote that Eric Bischoff would say is that controversy creates cash. So they're causing all this controversy
until it doesn't. It doesn't until it doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you know what? You ever heard the phrase "video killed the radio star"?
Yes.
Internet killed the magazine. You know. Yeah. In a way.
That's you're right.
So
Yeah.
That's true, bro. That's true.
because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to like basically a lot of the shit that we would get from Game Informers have just converted and switched to online. I mean, it's cheaper to produce as well, right? Imagine printing out books and then shipping them out and stuff. So even though I missed that, I feel like even if the magazine was still good, I don't think that I think just the current climate would have also still like led to them like, doing badly and losing money. It's just people don't want to order, like, older people like me and you and like maybe Spirit, I don't know how old he is, but maybe people like us would still so we're like close in age. We would still like read the books, right? Because we grew up with that. But I think a lot of modern kids and teens and whatever, they're just gonna go online.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. On what was I gonna say? God damn it, I had it. Oh yeah, they have a YouTube channel as well. I mean, they had it for years, but if you can see like the views and everything, it's just it's not very good for something like as big as Game Informer. So I'm sure they were hoping to get some revenue off of that and get more attention and eyes on them. But
what the problem is with corporately run YouTube channels, right? They're created with the intention to monetize immediately, advertise, aggressively so that they can make the most profit and get monetized right away. But that's kind of antithetical to like how the internet works with like, being popular. It's kind of like you can't predict somebody like Mr. Beast becoming popular or whoever, because again, like the internet is a little bit more of like, it's definitely way more free market than TV shows or like a magazine production where you have all this investment. You can invest in a show on the internet all you want, but like that audience isn't going to tune in when there's so much easily accessible entertainment, right? So a person might rather watch somebody like Vera Dark, which I do. I mean, over like somebody like Kotaku, obviously, but like that's my point. Like that people will watch someone like Vera Dark or like, whatever other like YouTuber over a big corporate channel like a G4, because those guys at G4 are trying to get paid, and that person like Vera Dark is just doing it because she loves to do it. And then what she gets paid
So
for
Sanku, I watched Kyle. He's good.
And Kyle too, he's good. Yeah, Kyle's good too. So it's like
there's so many alternatives out there where it's like you can probably
like when the creators themselves are having fun and they start making money, they double down on what they're doing. Their intention is that they want to make this content, while something like G4 or like Kotaku or whatever, they're making content because it's all corporate. They're mandated to do certain things. So
that's true.
So I feel like they were asked out from the jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. Treasure Edison on reviews, like video reviews, are just better too.
Yeah, they're just better. And honestly, man, for like, to me, a cultured person would just watch gameplay, unbridled gameplay, and then just go off that. Like a lot of times, like if I'm interested in the game and it's kind of obscure, I'd rather watch somebody play it, even if it spoils it a little bit, like not the full game, but it'll spoil some things, but at least I see like, hey, this is what I'm getting before I do the
same thing. And that's a good mindset to have. That's
probably
your safer bet nowadays.
I'd rather save money and then take a look at the gameplay is good or not.
Yeah, because again, a reviewer, whether you trust them or not, they're still gonna have their biases, right? Like if you're not into like RPGs like that, and this reviewer you trust is going crazy telling you how good it is, you might buy the game and be disappointed because it's an RPG and that's not really what you like. But you're so so trusting of this YouTuber that you're like thinking, well, if they're saying it's good, it must be good, and then you could be disappointed. So I just look at gameplay a lot of times and see if it's buggy.
I'd rather find a good RPG which is very good and more fully to good quality for my safety. If there's any bad open RPG, then I'm not getting it, bro. I am not getting it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I would say this, because currently Eastern doing good with the RPGs compared to the West.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Russian developers are underrated.
Yeah, Russian developers and also Korean developers too.
And Treasure said in the comments that there are African developers waiting to like they're trying to make something happen. I would love to see that.
We were I think there's also a Brazilian studio making a like a open world like crime game similar to like GTA San Andreas. I forgot the name of it.
I just want to say this. I want to say this. People in Africa are fucking based. I would love to see an African game made with like the intention of like what they do, because like, there's so much heart. There's like, I don't know if you ever seen like YouTube videos made like African channels or whatever. Yeah, like a low budget and whatever, but you can see there's a shit ton of passion. A lot of it isn't like woke BS. And if you get, you know what I mean? It's not like, at least from what I've seen personally from like African content. So I would love for there to be like African games that are like badass and fun. Obviously I would hope it would. I would hope there would be like an English dub.
Oh yeah.
I would hope there would be an English dub because like I don't want to fucking read subtitles, but I would love that, man. I would love that.
Apollo just like Moist Critical as well.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna rotate the panel so I can get who's here. I know Christian Fraze was here, so sorry about that, Christian.
The freight train.
The freight train. Yeah.
The freight train.
Great chance.
So if he's if you're watching, you can come back on. I'll bring you back on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up the commander and what was that, Spirit?
Yeah, I'm gonna head off for now, but it was great being on here, guys. Thank you. For having me.
Man.
Oh yeah,
thanks for
coming on.
Great to have
Always.
you on, Spirit.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I'm gonna be
Good
watching.
discussion too on me. Appreciate it.
Nice.
And also, Reverend, I got something to say too. Even though we discuss about Game Informer, we discuss about Bungie, we discuss about gameplay, and also last. So, what's your thoughts about the most critical thing? What's your thoughts? No, I talked about Reverend.
Oh, okay.
What's your thoughts about the most critical thing?
Did you? Anyway,
What?
I guess I'll say like he's kind of. You get me?
Gimmick.
What?
Hello, gimme.
Anyway,
I hear you.
yeah. So I don't. I'm good. Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you said before, Reverend?
I would assume you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we can hear
Anyway,
you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. I don't know because he was saying like what and whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so
What?
I don't think this guy is good at debating. I think he fully understands what he's talking about. Someone on Side Scrollers, I forgot who it was, that had said that. No, it wasn't Side Scrollers. It was Geeks and Gamers, where that he pretty much just goes with whatever the popular opinion may be. That he'll get the less flack for, and he'll go with that when it's not really truly his own thoughts. And I think his little debate with what was it, Sneeko, whoever the hell his name is, kind of proved that, because the guy just seems like he's like really all over the place, and I don't know if he's going to be able to come back from that. I saw a thing where he was I think it was yesterday or the day before, where he's doing some Doritos chip taste test or whatever, and it's like, all right, well, yeah. So,
just like Logan
that's
Paul.
basically my thoughts on it.
Yeah, exactly. My last thing I would say is, because even though he confronted Logan Paul, it didn't work. He confronted right his face, but he doesn't want to debate him with some of the videos what he said about him. See,
Listen,
that shows.
So I'm gonna interject real quick. Like,
Before I go,
I'm gonna interject real quick.
last one, Patrick. You.
The thing about Moist Critical is that you got to remember that like when channels become a certain size, a lot of them are afraid of shaking up the hornet's nest, right? And
Yeah, exactly.
unfortunately, it's actually kind of symbolic, right? Because if you look at what he was talking about and what he was defending, and what he was saying about the trans people, the kids or whatever, it kind of shows you that despite those people trying to act like they're an oppressed minority, it has reached a point where he felt that the safer opinion was to say that it was okay. That, you know what I'm saying? It kind of shows you that's kind of like the modern consensus a lot of people like are trying to adopt, because it basically shows that aligns with the establishment more than it doesn't, where people say like, oh, we're like the oppressed group, or we're whatever, but really, like, if this big YouTuber is afraid to say that no, this isn't okay, that shows you that group actually has way more influence than they pretend that they don't have.
Exactly, bro.
And also, when it comes to Sneeko, if you're losing a debate to Sneeko, bro, like, again, like, I've heard arguments where people were saying, oh, you don't like Moist Critical, you're defending Sneeko, that means you're defending Sneeko. It's like, no, you could think they're both fucking wrong. You could think they're both fools.
They're wrong, bro. They're wrong.
You could think they're both fools. Like, two fools can argue, they can both still be fools, right?
Exactly.
So So I think
Yeah.
that that's really how I look at them. I know you asked Revenant, but I'm here too, motherfuckers. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, in my opinion too. Nah, I'm gonna stop. But
Yeah,
uh,
you can address your shit. But bro, I
but
think
yeah,
you should
yeah.
go too, bro.
No,
So
no,
can
yeah. But that's what I mean. It's kind of
yeah,
like I
yeah,
actually like that you brought that up because it
exactly.
actually kind of comes full circle. It's like you could say, oh, we're oppressed. We're not. It's like when the other dude was saying, oh, look at all the look at the lack of representation. I'm like, a big YouTuber is afraid to say that kids can't transition. Shows you that it's not like this uh
Yeah.
it's not like this thing where you're trying to make it seem like you're like these victims and oppressed people, because if that was the case, this guy would say no,
Hmm.
fuck that, it's wrong. So that should tell you that, like, whatever. And as far as he goes, it's like Revenant said, like, he as far as he has a lot of safe opinions, and he just says shit. He just kind of like says what he feels like will get the least flack. So I honestly
Yeah,
don't know why
exactly.
people watch him. Like, I always thought that I never understood why people like watching his
Money,
content like
money,
that.
money.
Me
That's
either.
him.
Me
He's
either.
still
But it is
I
what
moving.
it
never,
is.
I
I'm
never
not gonna
understood
I'm
it.
not gonna hate on the guy.
But
I don't wish him any harm or
let's
anything. But
No. I don't wish him that too, bro. I
yeah,
don't
I
wish
just
him
I just don't care for his content. And to me, it's like he said something stupid, so he's getting the flack that he rightfully deserves. That's how I look
that.
at it.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. He, I would say he lost a bit debate, and personally, in my opinion, he you shouldn't invite that dude on, because you say you don't ride from that guy, but next minute you still ride for him. It shows how much you know how much hypocritical Moist Critical is. So next time, don't join the debate. Then I put it simple.
You know what people have to start saying?
Yeah,
People have to start saying, "I don't know and I don't have an opinion on it." That takes a level of maturity that I wish that more people had.
thank you.
Yeah,
I
no, that's
really, I
true.
really
People
wish.
should
I
be
really
like,
wish
listen,
people do it.
I don't know. I'm not really well informed in this, so I'm not really have a say on this, and that's it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
okay
just
if you
like
don't
say
know, or
that.
if you're not really well informed on something, to give a really good, uh, well thought out opinion. So just say like, listen, I don't know. That's it.
I don't. I have to think about it, or you could even say I'd rather not
Yeah,
talk about it because it's a subject that, like, there's really no win-win with it. So I just rather not talk about
you're
it.
better off doing that than
Thank
saying
you.
something that's not gonna go over well. So
Thank you,
Yeah.
bro. Thank
Especially
you.
especially if you're uninformed. Now, if you're confident in what you're saying, then by all means go off. But like, if you really don't know,
yeah,
just
yeah,
say you don't
yeah.
know, or just say that
Ex-
it's a subject you don't want to talk about. But again, that
Exactly,
takes
bro.
maturity. It takes a level of like
Exactly.
humility,
Hmm.
and most people just don't have that. And when you have a big following that's always telling you that you're right, like, it's hard to like you're gonna
Exactly.
have like this feeling of like, oh, everything I say must be correct. It's like it seems irrational when it is, but so
Hmm.
I'll leave it there.
So let's reborn. I'm gonna switch you out because
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
bring on.
Well, I want to say this, guys.
Okay.
I want to say goodbye to everyone from the chat. But I would say to you two, thank you for inviting me. It's pleasure to, like, get things going and also speak out the truth about reality. It's so great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
good
also,
having you on.
yeah, because it's a great podcast, Revenant, and it's for you
Thanks.
too, Jimpachi, for
Thank you,
being
bro.
very, very good at, being a good scholar. Because, well, to be honest, Yals, it's best that Jimpachi just explain the whole thing, bro. Because without him, it's not gonna be great.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
That's a high compliment, but
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. Anyways, it's Reborn. Yals, if you're not following me, please do follow me. I got a YouTube channel, and also I do music and a lot of things. And also I got like a podcast on the 16th. So if you willing to, like, join, just let me know. We
Oh
start.
yeah, for sure. We'll let you know, bro. That sounds
Yeah,
Hmm.
cool.
Royce and
Yep.
maybe Neozak and also Kristen Freights can join as well, and they can discuss any opinion if they want to. I'm willing to, like, be there.
Sounds great, man. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Hopefully they come around too.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thanks, Revenant. Thanks, Apache.
No
All right.
problem, bro.
Peace.
See ya.
No problem. Peace out, reborn. All right, so I'm up to, well, the only two people who are in the backstage in.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Doing
How's
great.
it going?
What's up, Auto
Yep,
Commander?
I'm good. I'm good. And yeah, so of course I'm glad you
Yeah.
enjoyed the donations, the shekels, whatever you want to call it.
Hey,
You know,
man, I really appreciate it. I was very kind of you. Honestly, you didn't have to do that, and that was a pleasant surprise, and I truly do appreciate it.
hey, no problem, man. No problem. Let's see here. So, when it comes to the subject, what are we gonna be talking about right now? Even though you had that circus clown show up in the beginning,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
so what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about Game Informer shutting down.
Okay, Game Informer. I was not too familiar with them. I was more of Electronic Gaming Monthly, the Dreamcast magazine. I
I
still
remember
have
that
the
one.
original copies of them, like almost every single one of them. But when it comes to the Game Informer
Wow.
thing, it's kind of unfortunate that they didn't downsize or try to find a way how to stay relevant, because it's like you know that the market is changing, but at the same time, we have so many threats that can affect the electronic world. Because the weird thing is that we have the internet is powered by these data centers which need water, and of course we have the other threat of EMPs, from space and whatnot, and of course some bad actor can detonate a nuclear bomb over the
Yeah. In
skies,
in
and
the
the cause
atmosphere,
and effect.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like I felt like they kind of rushed the decision, because they feel like, oh, the everybody's using the internet and whatnot, and things aren't going to change. But it's kind of like how I feel about Dreamcast. They shouldn't shut down either. They should have just stick with the system, because look at Nintendo. Nintendo's not doing anything close to PlayStation 5. So if Nintendo is still relevant, why is Dreamcast dead? So when it comes to this kind of shutting down business, I feel like it's very unfortunate for the fans, and I feel for them. Aside from that, let's get the other person to speak, and I'll step aside and let them introduce themselves and whatnot. So
For sure. Just right before they speak, I want to say to Treasure. Let me just read a few of his comments because he commented. He said, "Well, I love his gaming video. Sneeko is just dumb, but bruh, Moist was just sad. Just keep gaming. Leave social issues alone. And yeah, keep growing, guys. I want my chat to be forgotten. Best of luck, guys. And yeah, we appreciate you on here, man. Thanks. And I don't know if you're saying you're leaving or whatever, but you know, but yeah, man. Thanks for the
I wasn't
compliment.
sure.
Thanks for wishing us, growth and prosperity. And we wish the same for you. And hey, man, I really do hope we get some games out of African
Yep.
game studios, bro. That would be really cool. I would really be curious to see what they come up with.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, I
If
think
you're
we'll be
still
good.
here, if you're still here, thanks again. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, if you're leaving, appreciate it. Definitely. So, Y2 Viral, you there?
yellow. Oh yeah, just one more thing. Be very afraid. I just might go and drop another big dono to a random person that I'm cool with. So, anyway, fight to viral. Yellow. Just another
Why
note
too?
about Y2. Anyway, as soon as he pops up, I'll just jump aside. Um, Now about the
Yeah.
Sneeko and the Moist Critical thing. Um, of course, Moist Critical walked into a trap. He should have paid attention to the signs that this wasn't going to work out. And of course, somebody was making a video observing Moist's response to the video. And of course, one of the problems is he says, "Oh, I wasn't thinking that this guy was actually being, like ridiculous or something, right? He didn't know the question was serious when it comes to the transition thing." And it's just like, so let me get this straight. You decide to have a conversation with this person and you didn't ask them, is this a serious question? That's what he should have asked. That instead of assuming that he's just being ridiculous and giving a quote unquote ridiculous answer. So, Moist, he learned his lesson, but in terms of being canceled, everybody has the right to their own opinion, but I feel like this is a learning experience for him, and he should tread lightly. And also, please don't support the idea of doing things that cannot be reversed.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
especially life altering choices, man.
That's scary. That's just
it's
scary.
A very serious and thing, because
people are just way too nonchalant
that's why I mentioned
this.
Before, when people want to detransition, it's not easy, and also the suicide rate has to do with that they regret transitioning in the first place.
And you can never really go back to how
especially
you were before.
if they're doing it at a young age, which is why
like
when they bring up like trans youth and all that,
right? They talk all this nonsense about
pretty much
we're
like
saving
far gone
lives
by that point.
This whole thing about we're saving lives and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you already had that first person that showed up, and they started complaining about, you just like trans, this derogatory term and stuff like that. People have been saying that for a long time. Nobody has really decided until recently, and of course, when you say that, it is exposing them. These new trannies that want to live it 24/7. They have this thing where if there's anything that's revealing who they, are and whatever, they feel like, oh my gosh, I'm being outed and whatnot. We're going to find out who you are. We're going to find out, and we're going to let you know how we feel about it.
Well, imagine you're calling yourself a woman and you come on here sounding like Dave Bautista. It's like, all right, man, kind of giving yourself away there.
Right, right. I mean, if your voice is deeper than mine, but you call yourself Stacy, I'm sorry, but you're crazy.
But bro, you know what though?
Yeah.
I just want to interject here. The thing is, we have to live in reality. I don't understand why. It kind of boggles my mind. It's like at a certain point, we just have to look. Scientists are gonna say a lot of them are highly political anyway. A lot of the studies are somewhat tainted because of who's funding them and all kinds of stuff. You can look at it on all kinds of controversial studies. We cannot allow interest groups to dictate our biological instincts of all right, this is a man, this is a woman. You know what I mean? We just can't do it. I feel you can argue numbers, you can argue catch you later, Hakami. Thanks for tuning in. But
thanks for stopping by, Hakami. Take it easy.
We could look at it from all kinds of standpoints, but the reality is it's we can't turn off our common sense, right? We have to protect that. That's important to protect. So I just wanted to state that.
Oh yeah. Because a lot of times people feel like they can just live any old way they want. I mean, okay, so if you're free to live the way you want, okay, but you know that the other person has a right to have a rebuttal to that opinion. Oh, okay, so it looks like Y2 Pyro is up. You ready? You ready?
Yeah. I'm very sorry about that. I just got back from the store.
Kind of fools for the most part.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, good.
I can hear you, bro. I can hear you.
Oh, sorry, because I got my phone from me like a far distance. So yeah, so that first part was fucking crazy. But
Y2, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
What's your take on the Game Informer?
Yeah, so my brother used to collect magazines from them almost every day, and but I really don't ever since they made a YouTube channel, it got way worse. So I forgot what video it was, but it was about Mass Effect Andromeda saying 10 things why Mass Effect Andromeda is better than you know, or some stupid shit like that. So yeah, they are they really love trashy games and shit like that. And one of the magazines, right back in 2020, there was I forgot which one was it, but at the back of the magazine, it says that no matter what's good, they were practically promoting Black Lives Matter because that whole 2020 bullshit.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think
but it's not really surprising.
Yeah, it really isn't.
They're really no different than the other journalists out there. It's that they kind of just, for whatever reason, went under radar compared to others.
And they won the few people that was kissing malicious ads about the whole new Saints Row game. There was a video about that too, when they was like sucking them off about how this is gonna be better than the original
one too, actually.
Yeah. Jay Ransom made a video about that long time ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I saw that.
What I feel about Game Informer, I'm glad they're shutting down because with IGN, shit like that, they days will be like numbered basically. So hopefully there will be like new like journalist sites that don't tell bullshit, but the way things is going is not gonna be great. You got Kotaku and their bullshit. I hope that's the next one that's gonna be closing down. The main one this time, not the like the international plugins or whatever the fuck.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I think their days are numbered.
Real quick with Mandalorian. Martin, I mean, yes and no. The only reason why I would say no is because Microsoft has so much money. So if that wasn't the case, then yeah. But I guess Xbox as a whole is obviously not doing very well because poor leadership and the priorities are in the wrong places. So they just they have the funds from Microsoft to stick around. I mean, if they choose to, but as far as Xbox goes, it's not going too well.
Yeah,
clearly.
They're only focusing on Windows and PCs and shit like that. They practically done with Xbox.
They're gonna shapeshift. Microsoft will
so.
always shapeshift, so they'll be around in some capacity. I mean, the company itself ain't going anywhere. Even if Xbox shuts down, I can see them being becoming like a what's it called when the thing for PC where people like a launcher. I can see them being a launcher. Or like things like that, or just or making games, but they don't have a console.
Something that
most
change or get better by 2026. They'll have to reevaluate Xbox or something like that. I forgot exactly.
Well, I think that they'll end up pulling a Sega, where they end up being a developer, and then they have mostly on PC because remember. Most people have Windows. Well, not most people, but a large portion of people have. I don't want to say most because I don't know the actual numbers, but a large portion of people have Windows. So games for Windows is going to the same bottom line as Xbox. Really, it's Microsoft. So I can look at it like they're eventually going to, if they do get phased out, Xbox might die, but they'll exist as a publisher, as a launcher, and they'll still exist in the gaming realm. They'll just leave the console market more or less. That's how I look at it. Or be a third-party publisher and have games on Sony or whatever consoles.
Yeah, that's the thing. They always love taking third places to shit. They just might as well just say fuck it.
But to answer your second question, Mandalorian, I mean we kind of answer that in a way where it's
oh wait, have y'all seen the leaks for the new Xbox console? It come a while back. Sorry.
Let me answer this real quick. No, it's all right. But let me answer this real quick. If they don't, make significant changes, like Jim Pachi was saying, it can go the route of Sega, or become a publisher, somewhat like a developer as well. Xbox may just be a launcher for Windows or whatever. So. That's what I figure, and I don't see them making any significant changes that's gonna really be such an improvement over what they're doing now. So, but I don't think Xbox as a whole will go away. I think as a console, I can see that happening where the Series X and S or whatever, or the last true consoles. So,
I think that the console market might die. Xbox as a console will there's a good chance that it's not sustainable. They have so much money now, but over time, I really believe that it'll be I really think that unless they make some drastic changes in the next few years, they're gonna go the way of Dreamcast. I really feel that.
Right. And let's see what we have here. When it comes to Xbox, I'm getting me personally, what I'm looking at right now is I'm getting little hints here and there. I'm watching some of the YouTube channels talking about Xbox and how they are interacting with PlayStation and what they're doing. So one of the things I've been noticing, it seems like Xbox is trying to make their own PCs. And it's kind of funny that, to hear that, but in terms of Microsoft actually making hardware, they the there's some PCs that they try to attempt to do. I remember there was something concerning with the like a laptop like around the early 2000s. Can't remember the name of it, but when it comes down to it, I think the course of action for Xbox is going to be turning it into a gaming PC, and because that what video games are pretty much anyway. They're just glorified gaming PCs that are specifically designed to play certain type of games. So that's how I feel about the whole Xbox thing. It's like like Japachi was saying, they are going to change how they do things. Let's see here, one more thing, just a quick thing. The Batman show, like I said on Twitter, that show just looks boring. It doesn't
It really
have the
does.
kind of, yeah, it doesn't have the kind of so you know how 1930s cartoons used to be, where they had some kind of high contrast aesthetics like the original Batman cartoon, like how, where, like, let's say Batman's on top of a roof and there is spotlights everywhere. You can see the lights, but you can see the figure of Batman, but it's just like all black. It has that kind of aesthetic. I didn't even watch the show, and I can just tell that this thing was going to drop me asleep, because it just seemed like it was one of those side things where, Batman, they had a set of short stories collection. I can't remember where it was, but it was like earlier 2000s, and that's what it comes off as. It doesn't come off as something that is a series that is going to be taken seriously. It just looks like a short. It doesn't come off as, as Batman. And yeah,
No, I
so
agree.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a full official project. It
yeah, it
feels like
doesn't.
kind of like a compilation, like an anthology almost, or like just like a,
Exact.
a small scale thing. Yeah, I get that vibe
Right.
too.
Right. And the whole thing of, adding diversity and all this kind of stuff, like for example, the body shapes. Like that when I was commenting on that picture with those two women on one side and that one woman on the other side, you can tell they were trying to do this quote unquote body positivity crap. But the thing is that the way how they designed them, they just looked boxy. They don't look like they have any kind of like feminine form. They just look like, okay, let's just shell this out really quick, and and let's just make them into lovers and stuff like that. That is so damn lazy. I'm so
Yeah.
just like
Well,
really just kind of
Renee
sick tired.
Montoya. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I want to make a point because
No,
you brought
it's
something
good,
up.
good.
Renee Montoya. If you look at her she is a lesbian, and she did become a lesbian. But again, like, it's funny how you're making a Batman show and you want to make sure that everybody sees that on screen. Like, that's a key point you want to make sure is, like, you know what I mean? Instead of having her just be what she is and naturally integrate it into the show, there's like a lot of effort that's went out in in some of the episodes to kind of push that. You know what I mean? So when people say, oh, there's no agenda, or there's no, like, that it's all in good faith, it's like, come on, man, it's 2024. She's been this way for a while and it hasn't been shoved down people's throats.
Right, but it's kind of like that quote you were saying, and the more popular version of the quote is from Napoleon: "Do not interfere your enemies, um, destroying themselves." So we're just watching a collapse where people just taking ESG money, put in nonsense, irritate people. They run off with the money, but of course, all the staff members are not going to get the you know um the reward that they rightly deserve for working on the project. Of course, it's going to be just the big wigs people and banking institutions and all these other people. They're going to benefit, but the people at the bottom, they're not. And of course, they have to shoot out communists and Marxists and socialists talking points at random so they can tell you, oh, we care about the little guy, which they don't, because if they did, then they know what kind of decisions they have to make sure that everybody gets their share. And of course, you got these layoffs everywhere, and it's just like, um, it's just there was something else, right? It's like the whole thing of the minimum wage thing. You know, a lot of people, the employees, supported it, but they didn't understand, and they don't have any kind of strategic thinking where they just said, wait a minute, if I'm going to get paid more by the person that can fire me, what happened if they fire me? So, it's just all just
Well,
comes back in
well,
full circle.
it does. It has to do with what you said before, where it's like what you said, like when your enemies are fighting, don't interrupt them. That's kind of like a thing that's true. It's like, it's like all of the wokeness is cannibalizing itself, right? All of like this propaganda is like, or not even propaganda. I guess I would say the agenda. The agenda in its nature will eat itself alive. So that's what you're seeing now. It's like, yeah, more minimum wage, like you said, but then like these employers are now firing people, overworking their staff that they do have, outsourcing the AI or whatever. So it's kind of funny, or even with like illegal immigration, where a lot of companies will pay people under the bus, right? Obviously, everyone knows that. Um, so it's true, what you're saying is on the mark. I want to actually read a few comments because there were a few from Mandalorian. He asked you. He said, are exclusives still important gaming wise? And Remnant, your opinion. You think Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows Backlash will make Ubisoft go bankrupt?
Well, let me answer the other question. I was actually going to get to that, but I wanted to, let you guys what you guys say. Yeah, exclusives are important because it will allow people to make a decision which, like console or if it's PC, what would they rather game on and prefer? If all you're getting is third party games, then really it's like, does it really matter? You know what I mean? So I think exclusives are very important. I know a lot of people may think that everything should be on every gaming platform. There's more third-party games than there are exclusives. It always has been that way. So people have to understand that there's also a lot of games that are only on PC and that have been stuck on PC for years and probably will never come to any console ever. So, you know, that's why I feel like the argument of when you see a lot of PC gamers want all these games to be why can't games on PC that have still been on there, why can't they come to consoles? And usually they never advocate for Nintendo's exclusives to be on PC either. It's usually like Xbox or Sony. I mean, more so Sony because Xbox does day and date.
Well, it's tribalism.
Sony with their PlayStation, their exclusives, they usually come like months to about a year or so after they release on PS4 or PS5.
But you know what it is? It's like their game. They game on a lot of people, and that includes console players. They game on a certain console. It's like, oh, I want that console to have I want this game to come on a console. Like, or in the case of PC, I want everything on PC because they're PC gamers. So they it's easy for people to ignore the fact that, hey, if you have no games on, no exclusives, there's not really much reason to buy your console. And especially with PC, I mean, PC has the advantage of mods.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
And like graphical settings and frame rate settings and all that. I mean,
exactly, and stuff
it
like
has
that.
its
Yeah.
advantages, no doubt.
Exactly.
But
So that's kind of the trade-off. The trade-off is that it gets less
Mhm.
support than consoles because consoles are more accessible. It's like, it's like a reality of it. And I know people want, they want to have access to everything, but like you're outright the same way you outright refuse to buy a console, there are going to be other players that are outright refusing to build a PC because they just don't want to go through the struggle of it. Like not the struggle, but like the task of doing so.
Yeah. So yeah, what was it? Oh yeah, about Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed. I mean, I think we all know they're not going to do very well, even though I'm sure like the Shill media, whether if it's journalists or YouTubers, they're going to try to spin the narrative that the games did well, they're doing well, and whatnot, or that they're really good games and people didn't buy it for these terrible reasons and all that. But I don't think they're going to do very well. I don't know if this, excuse me, I don't know if this will like cause Ubisoft to go bankrupt. I know it may sound fucked up, but I hope it does, because to me, it's like they have done little to nothing to really help or improve gaming. They're just another
they've done a lot of damage.
Propagandist developer. Yeah, so they're kind of like the king of like showing something off, and the next time they show it off years later, it's always like a downgrade or something.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think they're gonna die out just from these games failing. But I think
maybe if they keep having each of their games like failing, because I don't think
it'll be the catalyst. It'll be the catalyst of like their long term failure.
Skull and Bones did terrible. Skull and Bones did terrible. I think that Prince of Persia game didn't do that great, even though it was kind of like more of like a budgeted game. So they probably didn't put a lot of money into that. But
I could imagine even if you're a Prince of
Persia,
I
would figure fan, by maybe see what happens next year with them, as far as what they put out and how their games next year turn out. Then maybe the real conversation will come up where it's like, all right, it's really not looking good for them.
And also with like Prince of Persia, like imagine being a Prince of Persia fan, waiting for years, and that's what you get. I'm not even talking about like any like woke stuff or whatever. I'm talking about just look at the game. It's like some like 3DS looking game. Like, come on, like people have been waiting for Prince of Persia to return, and that's the game you get. That's what you come back with. It's like, come on, that's so disappointing.
And the Killmonger hairstyle.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like even not only does it have like the fucking, not only does it have like modern day sensibilities, but then at the same time you're expecting this grandiose return of Prince of Persia, and it's like a doodle side scroller that looks like it was on the 3DS. That's what you're getting. That's what you're supposed to be excited for. It's like, man.
And then the remake of the first game is
Nintendo
in development hell. Yeah, the remake of the first game has been in development hell, so we don't know what that's gonna be like. So, so we already talked about Game Informer. Let's get into the Bungie layoffs.
They definitely deserve it. But that's my point. I mean, my opinion.
So they laid off 20 employees. That was like 17% of their. I forgot how long ago it was, but they laid off 100 employees. So in total, that's like 70%. If you add the 100 employees and the 220 employees, that's like 100%. No, sorry, 70% of their workforce. Or is it? No, I'm sorry, it's 40%, because they had like over 1,000 people employed, which is fucking crazy. They're doing now, they're gonna make a new studio. So the new studio they're gonna make, it won't be called Bungie. I mean, maybe it will, but maybe by somewhat of a different name. But that studio is gonna make a new IP under the.
They got all those people for nothing.
Was that? Oh yeah.
I said they got all those people for nothing.
Apparently, a lot of people who weren't let go. Yeah. And a lot of the people they let go, I'm assuming, were activists. Some of them that were complaining about the firings have a history of. What was that? No. Some of the people that were let go had
I'll be
people
back.
dug
I'm
up
sorry.
shit
I'm
that they
sorry. I'll
said
be
that,
back.
like not even that long ago.
I'll
Okay,
be back.
no problem.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I saw one of those tweets that one of the former employees like trying to show her his like the CEO trying to show her his cards and shit like that, and bad blood
Yeah,
and all that type of shit.
He invited a couple of people 2 days prior to letting them go to come to his house
Yeah.
to see. I think he has like seven or so. So
You got people.
like this guy, it's like
you got people on
this guy is
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and you got people saying that, that's his money, and he could do whatever he wanted to do with his money. Yes, except the fact that help the company make better games, but yeah, it's his money, whatever. But it's more like the company's money, but it's rubber.
Yeah, they're gonna do whatever they want to do, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
You know how that is.
What it comes down to, I think, is like it's poor leadership. So,
yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Let me say something real quick. So there used to be a Destiny used to have like a lot of DLC content, right? So they have this expansion called
I believe so, yeah.
Forsaken, right? And you know what they did? They have literally got rid of almost everything from that expansion, even though it was paid DLC.
I believe it.
They literally took out paid DLC that people paid for. It didn't make the game free, even though it was like I think $60 at launch, I believe. Make the game free. They also have like cosmetics for like $20, and terrible story, all type of shit. And they wondered why it was so bad. And there was even doing the BLM shit with the emblems.
Yeah. The emblems, yeah. I think they have some LGBT emblems there. I think they added like non-binary characters. They had that.
They characters on there.
Remember the post about the whole Latinx shit?
Yeah, like
that shit is not real.
Like they really trying to. They are literally trying to run off the Latino audience or Latin audience.
Well, I'll give my thoughts briefly about the Bungie layoffs. I feel like it's kind of like I'm not surprised. They're not the same. It's kind of like Rocksteady, where they're not the same Rocksteady that made Arkham. Bungie,
or like like 343.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're not the same studio that made the Halo that we all love. Like they're it's like what I said before. They're a skin suit, a shell. Like it's like
a husk.
A husk,
like BioWare. They're not the same studio that did Dragon Age Origins or the first 3 Mass Effects.
Because the way I look at it,
Volition, where it's like
they're a studio that was known for Andromeda and Belgar or whatever that shit that what they were trying to originally call it, Dreadwolf.
And also I look at it like, these talented people, they might go off to make their own products, or they might go off to like join other better studios. So even though I don't want people to lose their jobs, like especially programmers and artists who are just kind of getting dragged along for the ride. With whatever agendas these people have, because they're like mercenaries, right? They're getting hired to again, they could say, hey, I don't want to do this and work somewhere else, but I feel like they're not like, I don't blame them so much. So I feel like the actual programmers might hate the project they're working on, but they have no choice because they're contractually obligated. You saw that with The Last of Us 2, where a lot of developers on The Last of Us 2 didn't want to, the actual coders and programmers and artists, a lot of them didn't want to work on a project. They just looked at it as bad. So anyway, my whole point is, I don't feel bad for them, because I know that because of their talent and skill, they'll either make their own original stuff, or they'll make their own studios by coming together, or they'll go with different studios. I think that the shell company, the IP, like the Bungies and the and the Game Informers, they need to die to teach them a lesson that says, hey, you're not indestructible, and if you keep messing up, it's gonna lead to your company shutting down. So I kind of look at it as like a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of these events are the inevitable. It's of course they hired way too many people when the pandemic happened, and then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden they had to downsize, and of course um you also have this issue. I remember there was a composer for video games, a music composer, and he was saying that one of the problems with a lot of these companies is that the environment has changed where you can't say certain things. It was an older guy. I think he did some of the music for Halo, and I can't remember his name, but it's just the idea that you have this um, new environment, this hostile takeover when you have these new set of people show up, and then all of a sudden you're just like, why do I have to be here? So it's just certain people leaving. There's mass layoffs, of course, because the people on the top can decide what happens to the people at the bottom. And also it kind of shows how these companies can't find different ways of having people, their staff will do other things than just kick them out. It's just like um this is just inevitable because they know the kind of
Yeah,
things.
they're creatively bankrupt.
Yeah, they also, it's just like the current things that they're putting out is just not good. It's just they're picking the wrong people. They're making the wrong decisions, and I know a lot of them are making these decisions on purpose because when you have a boardroom of people, and of course you have the people that do the research. I mean, back in the old days when they used to, like in the 90s, I would hear stories about they would gather thousands of people for research, and in terms of like what's a product, what works, for people, what do they want to see. It's like with kids and toys, they made toys for girls that makes it more personal for them to change their little toys, and for boys it's more of, I'm doing something, I got a vehicle, I'm doing something, I'm building things, I'm destroying things, I'm GI Joe, I'm the construction worker, whatever. And so that research came from, thousands of, conversations, interactions, with the customers. But now it's, we're going to tell you what you're going to like. You are going to take it. And if you don't like it, then you're a bigot, istophobe, and all this kind of things under the sun. So,
Yeah, they
uh,
weaponize whatever it is they're making.
right, right. And
Yeah.
it's like they like this whole thing of my opinion about it as well is like, if you make a certain amount of money, then you are going to stay out of a certain tax bracket as well. So a lot of people like to say, oh, this is just like social justice warriors and stuff, like all of them. But those are the middle management and lower staff people. They have that mindset. But the people on the top, they know that, okay, we got to make sure we don't make too much money, but at the same time, we can funnel this ESG money we're getting in. Of course, you're doing, Japan is doing it as well with Street Fighter and Tekken and all these other games, and they're not as out there with the push as the Americans are because they have a certain way of doing it. But at the same time, it is money that is a certainty that they're going to get. The top people, they're going to get the ESG money because they know the money's going to come in, and they're not going to share with the lower people. So they're going to say, oh, we're going to make these bad decisions. Boom. So they just mass lay off people and run off with the money. So it's yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
my
the
take
higher
on it.
execs end up not being affected by the layoffs.
Oh, no, 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 they're not, because they say the captain is supposed to sync with the ship, but they decided everybody's going to sync with
Yeah.
the ship, and the captain is going to be Gucci.
Yeah, it's like the individuals make product. It's like those certain people and executives make money, but the company and the games themselves and the people employees are losing. it's kind of like, well, their mentality is, well, screw them because we got our bag, we got our. It's basically it's kind of like a complex. It's kind of like gaming the gaming like the whole investment system, tax systems and stuff like that. It's really, when I say gaming, I mean
Yeah.
like leveraging it. Meta, like a most effective tactics available. It's kind of like, it does, like, quality be damned. They're like, hey, we're gonna make money. We're gonna get this ESG money, and if the game fails, who cares? Because we personally have lined our pockets. So
Yep.
boohoo to them, but we got our money.
Yes,
And
and
it's
they
funny you brought
can,
up Tekken.
if it fails, they can run off and still, like, make bank, pretty
And,
much.
Game.
and it's funny you brought up Tekken, because Tekken, it's
Oh
much
yeah,
more
most
subtle.
definitely.
It's much more subtle, because it is subtle. I'll admit, if someone said, "Oh, it's not as extreme," I'll definitely agree. It is subtle, but they are doing it. They have,
Yeah.
you have like the body type
Yeah,
A
it's
and B in
true.
the arcade mode. All the women, all of a sudden, are like, their
Yeah.
outfits. Their new outfits are covered up. Some of the more revealing ones are DLC, and even the DLC ones are much more tame and covered. So
Like
it's
a
kind of
Mhm.
bit
like a thing.
watered
Yeah,
down. Yeah.
and watered down. So
Yeah.
granted, the models of the females, like, they're still pretty. Like, so, and that's why people are fooled, because they're like, well, when you think about ESG and shit like that, you think about like Concord and stuff like that. But so when you look at a game like Tekken, it's like harder to see, but because the female characters are still pretty, they're still
Mhm.
beautiful characters. But if you really look at it overall, you can see that there's definitely heavy-handed agendas going on. I mean, remember
It's
the
like
whole thing with Eddie Gordo?
there's levels to it.
There's levels to it, and I think that Japan is trying to play it safe. But like we all know, you get a
Definitely.
little bit of poison, it's only a matter before it takes over your whole body.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so basically that's what it is.
So
And
yeah.
I just want to say this with Japan. Japan is Japan's playing ball
Okay.
right now, because to them they see it as a win-win, but it's gonna catch up to them.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Well,
Right.
definitely will.
Y- Yeah. And it's like game
So
theory. Zero sum game. It's just like the idea of how do we win and not lose. And there's also this other um you know aspect of game theory. They talk about like how can you okay, so let's say you're in a bad situation, something so bad you're going to get hit. Now it's kind of like they're talking about the Japanese. There was an actual story about the Japanese sailors. They were trying to figure out, okay, we're going to get a hit by the Americans, but how can we not get hit so bad that we won't make it? Like, what's the best way to get hit the least? So they have this mindset of, okay, how can I make it about me? How can I make sure I get out of this? And it's like, also the idea, like, for example, Microsoft, right? We got Xbox, right? We're going back to Xbox. Why did they pick that woman to run a gaming company? And she doesn't let people know and communicate the idea that she is somebody that knows what this industry is about. And she doesn't she doesn't come off as that. She just came off as, okay, I'm a DEI hire, I'm going to try and change people and the way how they view video games. And it's just like, what are you doing here, woman? It's just like, she doesn't, like I said, doesn't communicate anything to say that I care about this space that I'm entering. And let's see what else we have here. Just a quick thing. I remember somebody was saying, just off topic, just quick. I remember somebody was saying about going on a podcast, like side scroller podcast. When it comes to something like that, I think it's not just also like how many people you have, but also it's just like, I kind of noticed that they tend to bring in people that feel comfortable showing their faces, you know, and because there's some,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because I've seen some of their stuff. And also just the idea of also, like, if there was something like Hypnocast, I would like to be on Hypnocast, one time, and just show up or whatever. But right now it's kind of
I've
like,
heard of it.
yeah, but right now, um, it's kind of hard to figure out how to get onto those shows. And For the people that want to remain anonymous, it's going to be extra hard. So
Yeah.
aside from that, yeah,
I think you know, you can have your some people that use VTubers because the VTuber is a little bit more engaging to look at
yeah,
than a
yeah.
video game
It's
entry.
the quote
But
unquote
it's
it thing right now because of course the big companies fund these VTubers, and of course there's a lot of behind the scenes money
well, I
passed
just
and
I just mean like not just like the VTuber industry themselves, but I just mean like having like a literal VTuber avatar, where the avatar talking is like it's a substitute for them showing their face because it's animated. You know what I mean? Um, but I think that it's not impossible because if you have good takes, you can still do it. Like it's a Gundam. It's a Gundam doesn't show his face, or like you said with Hypnocast. Hypnocast doesn't really. What's his name? Hypnotic, right? Whatever his name is, he doesn't show his face. So I think it's possible, but you are right that they tend to want to have people show their face more. But more or less, I don't think it's impossible. I think people just, I think it just kind of like it really is like multi-factored. So for me personally, I don't have it. So for me, the reason why I don't want to show my face is because my face is available on YouTube. People can actually see what I look like. It's not really hard to like find out, what I look like. But excuse me, but I like to keep a little bit of a layer of barrier between me and like everything else because ultimately I'm a creator and I want that to take more focus than like what I look like. You get what I'm saying? So I look at it that way. And again,
Oh
like for
yeah,
me
yeah.
personally, I don't have a problem showing my face. Again, I have videos on YouTube with me on camera. So it's just more so I just look at it like it's just simpler to just have the avatar where you're focusing on what I'm saying and what I'm doing and making rather than what I look like, right?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah,
Because
and you got
like
like, oh sorry about that, but let me say something real quick. And you also got like if you show your face, these motherfuckers will stalk you to the ends of the fucking earth just so
uh-huh.
they could like harass you and shit like that. Oh, look at you, you ain't got no room to talk. Like nigga, how are you judging? How are you saying that I should talk to you about how you look, and you just go ahead and just shit talk? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they'll ignore your argument and they'll find something to
Yeah,
pick at. Even if you're
yeah.
a fucking, you could be. So, for example, you could be what's the word? There's a phrase for it. Like traditionally beautiful. Not even traditionally beautiful. There's a word
Yeah.
for it. You know,
Natural beautiful.
no, like basically like conventional beauty. You can have like be conventionally good looking, but
Oh
then
yeah,
they'll try to find something in the background to taunt you over. They'll try to
yeah,
find anything to taunt you over. So again, like it's kind of like pathetic, but a lot of people will do that. Like for example, the weirdo that was here earlier,
yeah.
that's the kind of guy that will like
Oh yeah,
instead of
yeah.
instead of
The
addressing
whole people behind hiding behind profile pictures.
exactly and where like you have yourself on camera, those are the kind of people that would talk trash because they have no
Yeah,
argument. They're gonna try to reach for whatever they can. So for me,
I
it just
just
makes
found that like funny for many reasons, but I'm just going to hold it for right now.
but yeah, like just to summarize, I just feel like it's simpler to have like your profile picture. You're saying what you're saying.
Yeah,
People are following you based off that, not
yeah,
necessarily because
yeah,
any other reason. And I think that just it's easier. But I do agree with Octo
and
Commander that people are more likely to have you on if you are showing your face on camera. But it's not
yeah.
just showing your face. It's kind of like where
You
people
have
have like
like views and shit like that.
yeah that, but also from a visual
Wait, what
perspective,
are you
it's
guys
like you
talking
have
about? I
you have
I,
an
I stepped out for a second.
oh no, we're just talking about joining other podcasts, and Octo Commander
Yeah,
said that they tend to have people on that are show their face on camera, which is partially true. But I'm just saying that like it's not just showing yourself; it's like having a nice background where you have like your game collection or whatever. Like a lot of times, even if you're just on camera with like plain background, people will also still kind of dismiss it. It's kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
that thing where
It's projection.
yeah, it's kind of that thing where they see you as legitimate if you're doing the thing that other YouTubers do. Like you have your games in the background, you're like cool little like collection or whatever. Like it unfortunately that's a thing as well. So I'll just leave it there.
Okay. Yeah, I had to step out for a second. So I kind of missed that whole conversation, but it's okay. Um, let's get into Star Wars Outlaws. there was previews that people put out during the week. You had the usual like games media like IGN in them, and you had a few YouTubers that put out their previews of the game. Just to make something clear in regards to the YouTubers, they did disclose that they were kind of streaming the game. It wasn't on their PC. It was on a PC, I'm assuming, provided by Ubisoft. So they somehow were able to play the game through a stream or something. This is kind of weird. So what that sounds like to me is like Ubisoft gave them a build of the game to play through whatever the settings may be, because apparently this game requires some crazy like specs or like weird requirements on PC, from what I understand. On top of that, they had like 4 hours to play the game. It came down to they didn't have a lot to say about the story because it was mostly like again, like they were playing portions of the game. I believe like there was, I don't think it started. No, actually, it did start from the beginning because they were saying how it started off. So they couldn't really comment much on the story, but we're very obviously, of course, very optimistic about it. You want a quick shout out to Master of Gaming. He had told me about a YouTuber by the name of G-Man Lives. If any of you guys know who that is, he had a preview of the game as well on his channel. He originally had took the video down. I don't know if he private the video because he was receiving negative comments. He did put it back up on his channel, from what I understand, because I had read the comments on there. Pointing that out. I don't know if he sent anything on X about it, complaining about it, or whatnot, because I don't follow him on there. But what else was I gonna say? It's pretty obvious that a lot of people are, from what I gathered, are definitely shilling for the game. They're talking about how amazing it is, how optimistic they are, how in two in a way. I think they compared it to some other game. I don't remember, but I definitely remember a few of them comparing it to Red Dead Redemption 2. Another YouTuber, Luke Stevens, he had previewed the game, kind of glossed over a lot of the obvious flaws, very optimistic about it. While he had a excuse me, he had a video a while ago about Starfield, and he wasn't really giving up, but there's that type of pass where I feel like when he was talking about Starfield, it was more what he really felt. With Star Wars Outlaws, it was more of what Ubisoft wanted him to say. I'm going to try to pull up an article that I found where a German YouTuber had a preview video of the game because a third-party outlet of some kind told them to take it down, probably due to certain things that he was saying. But I'll let you guys. I don't know if any of you guys seen any of the previews for this game with the terrible AI and shit like that. She's like doing these terrible Superman punches and knocking out stormtroopers with her bare
I saw
fists.
that she did like a backhand on like a stormtrooper and knocked him out. It was like this like backhand from behind. I'm like, this is insanity. You expect me to believe this?
It's like that part in Star Wars Acolyte when the dude headbutted the lightsaber.
Kind of, but it's actually more dumb because a stormtrooper has an armored helmet. He has a helmet on. So how the hell does this bare-fisted woman, 100 pounds, do a back fist on this guy's back of his head and KOs him instantly? Like it'll be hard for a grown 200+ pound man to do that to a person with a helmet, especially a grown-ass stormtrooper. But I mean, it's easy to pick that.
Professionally trained stormtrooper at that.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's a trained soldier, so it's just goofy. I mean, yeah, you can knock anybody. Like honestly, if you catch somebody from behind, you can knock them out. Like if she had a weapon, like a pipe or something, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But she just backhanded in the back of his head. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But anyway, and she looks like she's 100 pounds soaking wet. So maybe 110
Yeah,
pounds, 120 pounds. But there's more I want to say about it because I look at the gameplay and I look at like what they showed so far and the character models and like it just looks like drivel to me. It just looks uninteresting. I can't tell you a single remarkable thing that I've seen in the trailers and with the little bits of gameplay they showed. So I mean, again, they're just milking Star Wars to death. If you can imagine like an emaciated cow, it looks like a skeleton just getting milked by like some giant like processor, giant machine. That's basically what we're getting with Star Wars. So I
Yep.
don't know. It's just a throwaway. To me, it's a throwaway game. Just more content, like legit content. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Solo. Yeah, I don't know why it's cutting out, but
Yeah.
it's just
And
content.
yeah, and the other thing is, it just kind of shows how the whole environment of gaming, in terms of the development side, how lacking of creativity they have. The whole setup is just like, okay, now we have the Jedi. The Jedi are this thing that, this entity, this, collective that do things that the average, person can't really relate with, but at the same time, they're fascinated. They're using the force and they're good with the lightsabers and all that kind of stuff. And it just like, oh, we're just gonna have some average looking person that is wearing human clothing and doing human things. And it's just like, it's just, we need to mark check boxes more than creativity. When Star Wars came out, it was the most one of the most creative things out there, aside from other IPs. But it's just like, oh, this is the best you got, so just a woman sneaking around smacking dudes in the head. And what's the other
Yeah.
dumb thing is? The other dumb thing is that, okay, so of course, when you have an organization like the stormtroopers, you're supposed to have a group of people that do research and development, and listen to the stormtroopers on like what equipment they should be wearing. Okay, so you got this skinny little lady, smacks the back of his head, knocks him out. What's the point of wearing the armor? They have all the statistics, they're supposed to realize, um this is not working. We're getting knocked out by random people. Like, why you wearing the armor if you're gonna get knocked out so easy? So yeah, it's just lack of creativity and just stupid decisions. Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's like way I see it, a lot of the media, including, when I say media, I'm also including like YouTubers because they're pretty much the same thing at this point. They're really protecting this game. Same thing when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I don't. It's you're expecting people to be confident that a modern day Star Wars game or anything related to modern day Star Wars that is being developed, this game in particular, is being developed by Ubisoft, current day Ubisoft, who has not been the same uh, for several years now, and we should be optimistic about it, and that you want to compare it to superior games that actually really innovate, like say Red Dead Redemption 2. And again, we're supposed to be confident in purchasing this game for $70 or more, especially if you want additional shit in the game that they have locked behind, DLC. I believe no, I don't think it was you need to be online the entire time to play the game. But again, it's like they didn't, Ubisoft, the way they have been responding to criticism, whether it's this game or even Assassin's Creed Shadows, this game is not made for by people who are very open-minded people, or people, it's made by people with agendas to push, which should not be shocking to anyone. And I believe one of the game directors for this game in particular was talking shit about white people a while back. So, a lot of people who have these high positions for these games don't like you. It's like they have this mentality where it's like, we're going to disrespect you, talk shit, but we also expect you to buy our games. And then that's the mentality of a lot of these developers nowadays. Exactly. It's like, we're going to say whatever we want, and you're just going to accept it, and you're going to still support us. And if you don't do that, we're going to call you a sexist, a racist, a homophobe, whatever we can to make you feel guilty or to possibly cancel you.
And they wonder why these they wonder why like
why
most
should we give them the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah. And they wonder why these companies like studios get shut down because of shit like that.
But if you look at the gameplay, it looks like any old Ubisoft game. It really just looks like any mainstream the camera gonna be up her ass, but not really up her ass because feminist. It'll be like just super close to her. Yeah. Fake ass Last of Us, slow walking. You're talking to some robot or something.
They have
some kind of
they have
some kind of part of
stealth in there.
Yeah, like forced stealth. Like everything's gonna feel on rails. Like even if the game
it may have been Inside Gaming or some channel on YouTube that said that it doesn't feel like it didn't really remind me of the other Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed. It kind of felt like it was its own thing, and like, I know when people say another Ubisoft game, well, this actually feels like it doesn't feel like that and whatever. I'm like, I'm looking at this and it looks like this, like they're like outright lying to people.
Yeah.
Just the sake to keep getting their pockets lined with money from Ubisoft and get good and get all the perks that go along with that. People were flown out to Australia to preview the game, and I think other places too. Not everyone was flown out. So,
but also like when you look at it, like if you just look at the game, it just kind of looks like any like modern cinematic game where like the character, like I said, they're walking slowly, talking to like maybe a droid or something. Kind of like a Star Wars Fallen Order sort of deal. Like it's just gonna do everything that is safe that you've seen other games do. And then obviously you have the female character, the way she's designed. You've seen how her chin looks. You've seen all this shit. Come on, man. Like I feel like at this point, man, they're just choosing to turn their brain off because they just, they have this thing in their mind where they need to consume the next product. And every time I think about that, it's actually kind of a depressing thought to think that people just have no like standard that they want to like hold for themselves. It's like everything is good no matter what. Don't criticize anything. Even if the agenda wasn't there, people would still be like sheep about generic, boring gameplay, microtransactions, all of that stuff. So, I just think that you really can't win with these people, and that this game is going to be exactly what everyone thinks it's going to be. The same pattern is going to play out after it comes out. You're going to have people defending it. You're going to have 1,000 YouTube shorts talking about how the game, Star Wars Outlaws isn't as bad as people said it were. Like it's Star Wars Outlaws, it actually isn't that bad after all, whatever. And you're gonna see all the generic, cookie cutter, predictable behavior from all parties involved. I mean, like even like the side that we're on, where we're against this stuff, it's kind of like it's kind of like an endless loop because another thing will come out and it'll have the same shit in it, and then when we'll criticize it, then you'll have a loser like that guy who came earlier. Like it's just like at a certain point, it becomes repetitive and clear, obvious. Like you're living in the Matrix. You know what I mean? It's like
like how all these people like defend garbage, even though it's like literally in front of you, like it's like so fucking terrible, but they still defend it tooth and nail for it. Just like how since Mr. Saints Godzilla was defending that remake, and that closed down a whole fucking studio, and he still defended.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why like people like us
point out real quick with that, like notice how a lot of people, the usual people who are being optimistic about that game, they waited an awful long time to see what everyone else was saying about it, and they finally gave their review out.
Yeah.
That's
Conveniently.
probably going to be the same thing with this game. With
Yeah,
Star Wars.
conveniently. That's what I'm saying.
Conveniently. They're
It's
going to
like,
wait until they see what everyone else is saying, and then it's like, all right, now it's a good time for me to be a little critical about what I really didn't like about the game.
be moist critical about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
because,
they're gonna wait.
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that she is.
Moist critical. You give your your standard opinion.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Or the young thing, where it's like, I'll just, let me
I
Google
think it's a
and
commercial
see what
back
everyone else is saying about it. All right, just the general consensus. For real. All right, the general consensus of what everyone else is saying. All right, time to make my video.
And that's why I look at it as like, it's important that people like just stand up and force people to face reality, even if it's even if it's like a little bit like the heat is on us, because again, like, unfortunately there are more sheep out there than normal people, right? Like, not logical people. So, but I think it's important that people like us speak out and say what the truth is, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's like we have to call it out for what it is, and people aren't gonna like it because a lot of people, they're like in autopilot. They just get stuck on the same things and they loop on them. Right?
Yeah, or stick their heads in the sand or whatever the fuck.
Exactly. Stick their heads in the sand, stare into the sun with their mouth hanging open, drooling.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're getting, from people. So,
like, they are just zombies to this consumer shit.
It's like what Revenant said earlier. It's like, he's like, you can say whatever you want, but a man's a man, a woman's a woman. It's like, that's the harsh reality. You got to face it, whether it pisses you off or not. And I think as long as people keep on upholding the truth, right?
Yeah,
upholding reality, it's not going to allow these people to really get their way long term.
Yeah, like the sun is not a planet. It's a fucking star. You know what I mean?
2 + 2 doesn't equal 5.
Yeah,
that's it. And that applies not just. I mean, I use that as an example, but that applies to gaming. It's like, listen, you already seen this before. You've seen this movie. The game is going to come out. It's going to be mediocre. People are going to defend it. The people defending it will forget about the game. The sales will turn out that it's not doing good. Journalists will try to spin it like, the game didn't do good because they had layoffs, they had delays, and they're gonna try to blame the fans. And then
toxic gamers, the culture war.
Exactly.
They stopped everyone from getting it. It's like, well, no one is stopping anyone from doing anything.
And then the cycle
first of all, it's a Star Wars game, so. I mean, it's Star Wars related work, but
the cycle will continue. That's the point.
Yeah.
The cycle will continue, and people are never. It's like, they're never going to learn their lesson. So at a certain point, you have to stop trying to force these people to learn the lesson, but you just show them, and you just keep on showing them, and just make it.
Yep.
You become a consistent force and saying, "Hey, you said this, but look at this. You said this, but look at this." And no matter how much they don't want it to be that, eventually that's the thing that causes people to wake up. I mean, like, look at how many people are now realizing with the Trump stuff, not to segue too much, but they're like, all right, maybe they're not so insane, because at least there's no Trump supporters right now trying to assassinate Democrats. So maybe our side might be just a tad bit illogical, Yeah. So, that's what it takes. It takes just a hard dose of reality consistently. And eventually people will come around, and the nut jobs that don't, well, they're going to remain nut jobs anyway. But we gotta wash them out, because you need the people with sense to come to that conclusion and say, hey, no, you're wrong. We're gonna I'm not playing ball with stupidity. And if enough people do that, then the idiots will be washed out. They'll be erased. So
right. And the other thing that kind of bothers me about this Star Wars game is the fact that, okay, they are not paying attention to all the other games that have failed, but at the same time, it's like, you can tell they're putting money into it, and you can tell it's expensive. They think that the Star Wars, the name, is going to sell it. Like, why are you putting so much money? Don't you see the other guys are burning up? I mean, it's just that's the other thing that just really bothers me. It's not just how boring the whole concept is. It's just like, why are you putting so much effort into something that just anything in general nowadays? It doesn't make sense. Go on, guys.
No, you're right. It doesn't make sense. They think it's gonna sell off of the name alone, but a lot of people don't care at this point. Look how bad the shows are doing, and the movies and all that. So it's like, what do you don't think that's gonna translate to the games, especially when people see what's going on? Like it looks pretty generic. Like I don't know where people are like, oh, it's ambitious, and it's like, how so? Like I mean, it's doing shit a lot. It's like blending elements from other games that done this, and again, it's gonna feel like another Ubisoft game. People think, oh, I wasn't being bombarded with a bunch of side activities like other Ubisoft games or whatever, or there was a bunch of markers all over the map. All right, so that's not going to change anything.
Nope. And another stupid thing is, what is with this thing of, okay, we have the game and you're playing as one character. Why why is nobody thinking about how Sega planned and have Sonic Adventure? You had Sonic, Knuckles, all these other characters, and you have options, there's variety. Now with these new games, it's just one character. It's just one path, one character, and that's the other thing that kind of makes it stupid. It's like,
think that it's usually one female that's the main character. They're gonna push the solo female lead as a strong, independent woman. If it's a man that was originally going to be in the game as the main character, they'll add the female character and they'll have like the dual protagonist, similar to what they're going to do with the upcoming Wolverine game, where Jean Grey is going to also play as a protagonist in the game. If the intention is it's going to be a male main character, they're going to add a female there to hog the spotlight, and also for the male character to share the spotlight with the female. Most likely to also emasculate the male or prop up the female. And if it was always going to be a female in the game, then they're not gonna add a male to it. They may add a sidekick like what they're doing in this with the fucking animal, whatever the fuck it is, the pet thing. I think it's called Nick or whatever. So they'll do that, but they're not gonna pair the female lead character with a male protagonist as well, because it doesn't align with their agenda.
yep, modern Star Wars.
At a certain point, man, we just have to kind of accept that this shit ain't gonna be good. It's Ubisoft, and they're gonna die. Eventually, all this stuff is gonna have to come to a head, So
Yeah.
Or there has to be a hostile takeover. There has to be they have to reach a point where like, okay, Disney and all these other entities, they have borderline infinite old money, and they have all the investors and networks and everything, but at the same time, the ship is sinking. There has to be a new set of people in, and they need to rethink things and stop depending on this ESG money, because it's going to run out.
Definitely will.
Yeah, and so of course, like Harada, when he was trying to get the Tekken 4 or 5, I think it was Tekken 4, he had a problem getting the funded from Namco. So he said, just give me another chance. They gave him a chance, it worked out, but the thing is,
it was Tekken 7, because Tekken Tag almost killed them.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, definitely one of those, like in the middle, not the first or last, but newest.
It was Tekken 7, because 6 didn't sell how they. It was successful, but didn't sell how they wanted it to. Then Tekken Tag was a failure commercially, and then Tekken 7, he had to beg them to let him make it, basically.
Yeah, and that's the other problem too with these new games, is that the problem with making a game graphically and everything else progress, you have to outperform the previous one. So of course the Japanese are going to the ESG route, and we can see it. and right now, I don't know. I just like when I was playing Tekken, I just hated it, and but with the Star Wars thing,
Well, if
you
you
know, like
notice, the game's been watered down. A lot of it is more brain dead. Heat mode basically makes it that it's endless aggression. So it's a battle of pure aggression, and a lot of the skill barrier is gone.
and also the it like my pretty much like my main characters, like one of them is Yoshimitsu and Brian Fury, and let's see what else. What are the characters that I really like? Lei Fang, if I said his name right, but
Lei Wulong, you mean? I know
yeah,
he's. I know.
Wei Lu Long, yeah, and so those are kind of like my mains, but it's kind of just like they don't feel like them. And you got these new characters showing up, like that guy with the karambit
Oh
sword and
yeah, man, he's like a
pistol.
he's like a Naruto character, bro. It's like the identity is gone.
Right, right. And of course, you had the people from like the original Tekken was the people from the Virtual Fighter. And of course, Virtual Fighter and all those other games, the characters' fighting styles were based off real ones. And there's so many fighting styles out there. All of a sudden now we got anime warriors,
Yeah,
which
anime warriors like Lars, what's his name? Victor. That's the character you're talking about with the karambit. Like I accepted Yoshimitsu because Yoshimitsu was the outlier, right?
right,
Where he's like
right,
but like at this point, it's just the game has lost its identity. And if you notice those new characters with the indistinct martial arts styles, they're also the game is built around a more of like a gambling system where it's like you're guessing more than anything else. And that used to be mitigated. Like in the old Tekkens, you had to guess, but you had a lot of technical stuff where you had like a lot of defensive options, um, all kinds of stuff. But now the game is so aggressive, defense is so nerfed that it's become a masher. It's become a button masher, and characters like Victor, are basically fighting like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z characters. The you know what I'm saying? It's like the identity is also gone.
that's how boring the Star Wars game is. We're talking about Tekken now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, the whole thing is, oh, we just shell out a lot of money on the game and it's gonna
Yeah.
work out. We give them shills the
Mhm.
money and all this kind of stuff. We slide it into their G strings and they're gonna be singing and twerking for all their games. And it's just like, nope. People are gonna look at it, they're gonna say nope. And yeah, yeah. So it's just like
Ironically, G strings and twerking would help the game sell, but they won't even put that in there. Ironically,
Yeah, right.
bullshit.
that's the
Yeah.
irony of it.
Yep, yep. Because it's just
They
like
might start doing it just out of desperation. It gets worse.
Yeah, they had She-Hulk twerking. It's not show twerking is not sexualizing women if they do it to themselves apparently.
right, right, right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. It's empowering. It's empowering exercise. Yeah, but
So
this.
let's get
Hmm.
to the
Yeah, rules
last
for kids,
topic,
not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
which is last topic is Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn.
Oh, you
Um,
mean
Lu-
what? Hold it
even more
before.
players.
I forgot what
What was
was that called. I forgot what I called it. During the last podcast. Was it Flint Rock? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't
I
know,
don't I
but
don't I don't recall, to be honest.
well, more like Bear Rock because, uh,
More like BlackRock.
yeah,
But anyway, yeah, like
more
yeah,
like
so
Backpedal, but
as you were saying, Rev.
All right, right. So when Flintlock first came out, the numbers, at least on PC, for the player count on launch day, was 600 and something. I can't remember the exact number. And now, which has been reported during this week, was that it lost 70% of their player base, and the possibility of the development studio, laying people off, or definitely laying off a large chunk of people, is definitely possible. Um, in case no one doesn't know what the game is, It's a game made by A44 Games. I think that's what the name is. Never heard of them. The publisher, I don't remember the name either. So it's kind of like somewhat of like an unknown developer publisher. At least as far as I'm concerned, because I never heard of either one until like I actually read up on it. And Sweet Baby Inc. was involved with the game. I think the original the protagonist was originally going to be a white woman, but I think people also said it was going to be a white man. But anyway, so they changed the protagonist to be a black woman. She doesn't look very good. Of course, she has no body whatsoever. Like you're playing as a board, and it's like a Souls-like game, but it's like very light on the Souls part. So,
well, you can't have that game be too.
It's very unremarkable. Yeah, yeah. So, it's not really a long game like that. Maybe like 6 or so hours, maybe. I think they charged $40 or $50 for it, and it's on all platforms. I don't think it's on PS4 or Xbox One, if I'm not mistaken. But in case people are curious, so
at least they spare me the trouble. Spare me the torture.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So,
Well, for me, I'll be brief with this because
the game.
Yeah, sorry.
Also,
continue.
the main character, she also has a animal companion, like a animal. So, yeah.
Look, I'm just gonna say,
because in case people may say it or think about it, just real quick, the numbers being low on PC, I'm sure that also reflects on console. Maybe the numbers are a little bit higher, maybe, but it's not going to be that much of a difference, I'm sure. So this game flopped very hard, and there's a reason why.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say the game is gonna be ass. I mean, it is ass. There's really not much defense you can give of it. And again, like, it's just fodder. It's another Saints Row, another forgettable game. It's like, it's so unremarkable. It's like, I can't even say too much. Like, even saying bad things about it, it's like, it's just another diversity, like, inclusion focused game. It's just fodder. It's content. It's just drivel. You know what I mean? So I'm not surprised the player base fell off.
Yeah,
people eventually realize that the writing's
you
on the
look
wall.
at the game, it doesn't look really like that interesting.
But a game has to be good. Like, honestly, they would probably get away with the agenda shit. People would obviously they would actually get away with the agendas if they actually made the games good, because most people are sheep anyway. But if the game is bad, boring, and it's fucking full of propaganda, then it's doomed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's one of those things that's so unremarkable that it's just like, I wouldn't be saying anything different than I've said about other games. Cheap pandering, cheap pandering, a game made for an audience that doesn't exist, gameplay that's brain dead because journalists are not good at video games, and then and just like a nothing burger of a game. What can you really say? No creativity, no original gameplay, just what everyone else does, but watered down. Like, it's just bad. It's like, I wish I had more to say about it, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of similar to when we talked about it on the last podcast. I mean, no one really had much to say about it because, like, it's really like unremarkable and forgettable. Like, the game did have a lot of advertising. Xbox was advertising it a lot. Their showcases that they had over the last, like, I want to say 2 years or so, maybe. So I think they may have had like an exclusive.
It was really shoving that sewage down everybody's throat.
I remember that popping up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also appeared on Summer Game Fest, and I think it may have also appeared on the Game Awards. I may be correct about that, but it definitely had
Summer Game Festival
on these usual like showcases. So it wasn't like the marketing was like terrible. It was definitely being shown around. It's just that no one cared. You can show it to as many people. You can have it on whatever gaming expo, event, showcase, whatever you may want to call it.
Gotta have an X factor. Gotta have an X factor.
Exactly. Yeah, and this game does not have that, and that's why.
Yeah, it just had the ass factor.
Clearly, failed poorly, and I believe it's
Ass
also
factor. You're right.
I believe it's also on Game Pass, and I doubt a lot of people are even bothering to play it on
Yeah,
there.
nobody ain't touching that.
So
I haven't seen anybody on Game Pass playing it.
yeah, I saw one video where someone called it a masterpiece, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like definitely
obviously
not,
somebody
definitely not.
paying him or her off. Obviously,
Drugs will make
Yeah.
anything seem like a masterpiece. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
But, yeah.
For real.
meth, cocaine, fentanyl, all types of.
This,
Yeah,
this game will definitely be among the many that came out this year that flopped hard. Did Suicide Squad come out this year? I don't remember.
I believe it did.
No, I think it came out last year.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah. I think, yeah, it did come out last.
It came out 2024 because I did my video not that long after it came out, and my video was only like 3
I
or 4
forgot.
months old.
Wait, hold on, I forgot they delayed that. They like delayed that bullshit.
So I think it might have actually come out this year.
Right. Sierra went
All right, that makes
past.
sense.
Gotham Knights came out last year. Or
That's what it was.
got-
Yeah. What else came out this year that fucking flopped hard? Trying to think.
ooh,
Well, we know Concord will, so that's another one you can add on the list.
Outlaws count. Shit.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Right.
People
and,
be like,
It's like,
2024 was one of the best years in gaming. I'm like, okay.
name one game. They have a fucking struggle
three
fest.
games out of 50 does not make it a good year. Just so people
Yeah.
are aware. They were saying that shit about last year. I'm like, you think about all the games that came out within the year of 2023, and you really consider which ones were actually good. It's like there's way more games that were complete dog shit, and the same's happening this year. So when people start saying that dumb shit, like, "Oh, this is one of the best years since 2017 or whatever year they want to compare it to," and it's like, no, it's not.
It's really not. But anyway, Octo Commander,
Yep.
did you fully give your thoughts on the game?
It's the just looking at the pictures of the protagonist. She's just hideous. The
Right.
outfits that she's wearing, the shapes, and it's just
Yeah, that's
it's
what I was
just
thinking too.
something.
Like the outfit looked terrible on top of everything
Right,
else.
right. You're not sure
Yeah,
what's going on.
like dog shit. It
It
looked
looks
like a bootleg Black Panther game.
something
But
like that.
yeah. So continue, Octo.
Yeah. So it's just like you are just looking at this character, the setup. You're not sure what's going on, what's like really the theme, and it's just like you have this character that just, like I said, that she just looks hideous. There's not going to be any fan arts because one of the things is, even though there's Rule 34, um, a lot of these characters that are made are not going to get quote unquote popular fan arts, and you're not going to see anybody that wants to draw this character. And the other thing is, it's
Definitely not.
like, yeah, and so
Yeah,
it's
they're
just
too damn ugly for that.
right, and it's just like, there was something else about the game that was kind of bothering me, because it's kind of like, of course, the player count dropped. Of course, that's part of the course, because most of those people are
Yeah, I think
probably,
one person was playing it on stream.
yeah, it was just probably like a shill, or probably somebody just kind of weirdly curious, or play hating, just playing
Hate
to
playing
just,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. To
yeah,
criticize
make
it. Yeah.
content. And also, it's just like, there's something else. Something's keep itching at me, because I was just like looking at this thing, and of course it's just one of those things that's gonna go by, and it's just, of course it's forgettable. It's The character is ugly, the setup is ugly, it's all the same. It's
Just more unremarkable slop.
yeah, remarkable
Recipe
slop,
for disaster.
golden shit.
So yeah, continue.
Yeah, so like I said, it's just one of those things where you're just looking at it, and you're just looking at something to just, you just kind of pity it. You pity the people that made it, and you just pity the game itself. It just looks like a sad creature just begging to die. It's it's
Mhm.
just
It's the fly.
yeah,
Kill
it's
me.
it's a fly that did it with a roach, and it's just like this, this
You ever seen
creature
the
of
fly?
misery. Just like kill me.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
yeah,
know?
like that
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
part in
So yeah,
like that
sad.
part in Alien.
In the fly
Sorry
too,
about
man.
that.
The fly. Like that's exactly what it is. Like the
Yeah.
motherfucker's an abomination. He puts the shotgun to his head. He's like, "Kill me." I'm like, yeah, man. I don't
Yeah.
listen. Got to put him out a pasture. You know what I mean? But
hmm
all right. So that being said, everybody kind of gave their opinions on it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah,
is that the
yeah.
last subject?
Yep.
All right. So what do you think? You want to close out because for once we didn't go 5 hours.
We
Sure
did.
about
Yeah,
that?
that's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. We usually we can go way over.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah,
So
I mean, despite that whole little like thing in the at the beginning of the stream.
I feel like that needed to happen, though. I feel like stuff
Yeah.
like that needs to happen. Honestly, it has
Yeah,
to
yeah.
because people have to see how these people think. So I'm actually glad it happened because when you see how these people think real time, it's kind of laughable. So
hmm
Yeah.
all right,
So,
Y2, you want to do your outro? I'm sorry, Brevin. What were you gonna say?
I know I was really good to say the same thing.
All right, so
For people to
Y2,
do
All
the
right.
outro.
yeah.
All right. It's your boy Watch Viral. I make videos about video games, walkthroughs like 2K24, Diablo 4, Sunset Overdrive, Kingdom of Everlearn, Hogwarts Legacy, and many more. And I will be streaming later on today as well. I also got like a retro channel, music channel, and a short channel as well.
Awesome,
Nice.
awesome.
Definitely
Everybody
check
check
out the
that
stream.
out, and thank you for coming by, man. We always appreciate you. Always good to hear your
Yeah,
voice.
appreciate you, White too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
I appreciate y'all too, man.
we're
It's
both New Yorkers, right? So good to have
yeah,
a
Yeah,
fellow
all
New
three of
Yorker on
us.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
appreciate
The
you.
New York triad, like the New Jersey triad from WCW.
Oh, yeah,
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 you're right.
yeah. You're right.
You're
Yeah.
right. I was thinking about making the theme for the podcast the Wolfpack theme,
yeah,
but
yeah. That would have been dope.
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, like thanks for
You got to
coming
make
on,
that.
and
You got to make that the intro.
I do. Everybody check Y2 Viral out, and thanks for coming on, man. So
Yeah, check 'em
Octo, you
out.
want to do your outro?
Okay, I am the CEO of the Octo Mind, creator of the comic and video game Octavio Camacho, and I occasionally stream on Twitch. And aside from that, that is my outro. And thank you, gentlemen, for giving me this opportunity again. And you all take care. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Everybody check out
Oh,
Octo
appreciate you
Commander
being
and
on.
Oh
check
yeah,
out
yeah, most
Check out
definitely.
his game. Check out his
Hector
game on Steam.
Camacho. Check out his comic. He's a good dude, and we always appreciate you coming on, man. Really, we really
Yeah,
do. You're always
always.
welcome. And
Mhm.
yeah, you have a great head on your shoulders, and I hope your company blows up even more
Yeah.
than it has or hasn't yet. I hope it just have all the success in the world, man.
Yeah, I
Thank,
hope so
thank
too,
you.
man.
Yeah.
Because
Thank
we
Also,
need more people like you in the
Us too.
like in this industry.
we need more creators like us
Yeah,
with sense, with sense. Creators that
Mhm.
we want to make original stories and not do lazy race swaps, lazy gender swaps. We want to make good content. That's the focus, and I think we need more people
yeah.
like that.
Yep.
So it's good to
Oh
have
yeah,
you
most
in that
definitely.
space. And also, again, thank you. That was a very generous donation that you made, and I truly appreciate it. I didn't expect it, and I'm very humbled by that. Thank you. Um,
No problem.
so yeah, I'll give my outro now.
All right.
My outro. So I'm Japachi. I do animation, digital art. I'm working on a couple of projects. I have my animated series Augur. Episode 1 is up. I'm also working on like a side comic I'm trying to do, and I do a lot of gameplay, a lot of streaming, all kinds of games like Metal Gear, Batman, a lot of stealth stuff, a lot of like actiony. I'm into that kind of like tactical action genre. So check out my channel. There's a ton of Batman content. I think you people might find it entertaining. I hope you do. I hope you enjoy it. And if not, that's fine too. And I appreciate everyone hearing me out and who joined the
Yeah,
podcast because it's good to see that there are other like-minded people that have good heads on their shoulders. I think that the world needs to see that in order to come around more. So thanks for everyone for coming on. Revenant, always fun co-hosting with you. And yeah,
Absolutely.
anybody check out Augur. It's an original series. Doesn't have any bullshit in it like propaganda. It's an action series, very gory. So viewer discretion is advised. I'm working on other things as well, and yeah, check me out on there. You can also probably follow me on X at Beard King Art. So,
All right.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Yep. So, yeah, thanks everyone for watching the noise outside. That's New York for you. Anyway.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
I heard two niggas arguing about some bullshit outside like 5 minutes ago. So that's
yeah,
why that's why I have to mute my mic. But
yeah. No, I know how it is. So yeah, thanks everyone for checking out the podcast today. Really appreciate it, and also if you're checking out the replay, appreciate it as well. If you're new to the channel, feel free to get yourself familiar with any of my videos or any of the past podcasts or anything like that. Either way, appreciate the support. Appreciate you all coming on and being here on the panel. I appreciate everyone in the comments. Jinpachi, co-host, great co-host. Who's on? I know Christian Frady's gonna get a chance to come on, but I appreciate him anyway. Who else? Reborn.
Royce,
Reborn.
Rolls
Shout out
Royce,
to him. Rolls
Spirit
Royce.
of Paradox.
Spirit of Paradox. That was it, right?
Yeah, I think that's everyone who came on. Special thanks to Melina was in the chat earlier. So
yeah. I seen her in there.
Yeah. So. But yeah, so appreciate everyone who stopped by. Well, if you joined, commented, watched, whatever.
Hell, even thanks to that guy for coming on because I'm glad that he exposed how these people think. So actually, I'm appreciative of that as well.
Yeah,
at least he had the balls to come up here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Shout out to Marn. Shout out to Marn. He's a real one.
Yeah, a real man.
A real man. Yeah. Man's man. What do you say? But yeah, stay tuned. I got a new video coming out during the week. I'm gonna try to finish. I know sometimes I don't always, keep my word on that, but I'm gonna try. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you had a good weekend. Have a good week. Good night. Good day. Good evening. Whatever. So we're gonna head out. Peace.
All right. Peace and God bless.
Later, man. Later.